peradventure.
Welcome, everyone, to this night's Skeptic Bible Study, Episode 5, Barbecuing Isaac, where we take a critical yet fun look at the book some people tell us is good. So come on down, 'cause dinner's served and Abraham is cooking. All right, so we're going to try out a new little mini video in preparation for the edited video, but let's explain the categories tonight. So before we begin, I'm going to start by going over the specific Bible we'll be reading, along with some helpful category marks. Categories, you say? Why, yes, I do. You see, we're going to be reading from the Skeptic's Annotated Bible, an entire King James Bible, lovingly fawned over by a skeptic who decided he would add his own notations. These are little flagpoles of sanity put in use to remind us that hey, maybe slavery is evil. Including categories like absurdity, injustice, and cruelty, but also a good amount of intolerance, contradictions, and conflicts with science or history. Now, that doesn't mean it's not packed full of misogyny, false prophecy, and some questionable biblical family values. We won't skip the good parts the Bible has, only that these passages seem far fewer in number than any priest or pastor seems to suggest. So without further ado, won't you come join the Skeptic crew?
How'd that go on your end, Amy?
I think I fixed it. It was
Okay.
that I had the screen share in at the same time that the video was on, and it was looping through itself.
You were playing both?
By accident, but
Okay.
but that all makes sense now. And so I'm going to send the stream into the chat if anyone would like to join us. And we're gonna start where we left off. We just got finished Sodom and Gomorrah.
So that's
And
done. That's
yeah.
gone.
and welcome, James. How are you doing tonight, by the way?
Oh, I'm doing good. Yahweh last week, he just a few days ago actually showed us how to make salt. So if you need some French fries and you need some salt, have your wife look at a city where God's about to kill a bunch of gay people, right?
Exactly. Apparently, looking at gay nuking cities, I don't know if it's the gay part or the nuking part, but it makes you turn to salt.
Yeah. I mean,
it is a shame.
That would be a good tool for a lot of husbands out there who would probably rather have their wives be turned to salt. But so today we're going to be cooking with Yahweh. We're opening up once again to a page in Yahweh's cookbook, and we're going to see what's on the menu today. You know what's on the menu today, Amy?
You know, I have a kindling of a feeling, but I don't quite. I'm not quite there yet.
Well, I mean, when he nuked Sodom and Gomorrah, I mean that must have been quite a smell for Yahweh. He must have been really just salivating at all the death and destruction.
I know. I can't imagine more death. I mean, after all this, after all that, I feel like you'd think that this is your guy. I mean, you wouldn't have to put this guy through another test, would he?
I mean, for God's sakes, the man, he protected the angels that were with him. He gleefully offered to allow the men to rape his young daughters. They were virgins, and but of course, we're told that every single person in the city, they were all gay, so none of them were interested in the women. They wanted those angels. And
Yes. Not only were they all gay, but they were all wicked. There was not a
evil,
single
yes.
non-wicked person in the entire city.
Well, I think from Yahweh's perspective, to say that they're gay also would mean that they're wicked. I mean, wouldn't that would be kind of inherent, right?
I guess so. It was just rainbow flags and parties everywhere, and he couldn't have that. There were
No.
too many gays sending hurricanes to storms, or hurricanes to storms, sending hurricanes to other cities. So he's like, we got to stop this.
Yeah, I mean, only Yahweh gets to flood cities.
Exactly.
Oh, that's his prerogative.
His way or the highway. And okay. Once again, if you'd like to join our little Skeptic Bible study, we just sent the link in chat, and let us begin with Abraham repeats, "She's my sister, lie." And welcome, Dak. We'll read the first. Let me read the first paragraph, and I'll let you in. And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the south country, and dwelled between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned in Jaar. And Abraham said of Sarah his wife, "She is my sister," the Abrahamic king of Gerar, and took Sarah. Woohoo! We're off to the races, Donald, and welcome
Off to the races.
to
Welcome
our,
back, Donald.
our humble Bible study.
Yeah, sorry I had such a terrible time getting in. I tried to get the link from you sooner, but yeah, when I went to go in there, I had it open. I had the YouTube page open on my computer, and if I clicked the link in there, I knew it wasn't going to work. So I had to get it on my phone. So I tried to type the link in on my phone, and it's got a G and a Q in there, and I wasn't sure which one's which, or maybe they're both G's or both Q's. I tried them both as G's, and that didn't work. At any rate, it's got another one on the end that could be either one, because the underscore makes it hard to tell them apart. And
First world
so I gave up.
problems.
So I gave up on that, and then I tried to type the YouTube channel, the YouTube link directly to the video into my Chrome browser on my phone, and that has a character in it that could be either a lowercase L or a capital I, and I think I guessed which one it was wrong, so that didn't work, and sorry about that.
That's okay. It sounds like you went on a journey, but we are grateful you're here.
He went on a para-adventure. Para-adventure.
That's our new favorite word. And so Robert says you want to rate those women? Great. Go with blessing. What? You want to make love to another guy, even with mutual consent? Die! Divine justice. I know. He invented nukes just because of gays. I mean, it seems like he's having, I don't want to say daddy issues, but...
Yeah, by the way, did you say kindling earlier?
Yes, I did. Oh, having a request.
As in, left the D out on purpose.
You're coming in maybe too loud and clear.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're fine.
No, it's not loud on mine, but
except for Yahweh. And that's okay.
Is that a Hawaiian shirt there, or what you got on there today,
Yes,
Dak?
yes. It's a Hawaiian Christmas shirt, actually.
I like
Ken
that.
Hogan would be proud.
He does. See, that seems to be his trademark, doesn't it? He likes Hawaiian shirts.
He does.
Yeah, actually, I bought this one at the same time as I bought the one that I bought specifically for the debate I was in with him.
Hey, that's okay. And okay, so God threatens to kill Amalekite and his people, as you do. Also, just already we're into some lovely feminism, biblical family values, absurdity, and let's get into some injustice while we're at it. But God came to Amalekai in a dream by night, oh baby, and said to him, Behold, thou art but a dead man. Oh, that doesn't sound good. For the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife. Oh shit, gossiping in dreams. But Amalekai had not come near her. And he said, Lord, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation? Probably.
Why not?
It's on his list. She said unto him, She is my sister. And she herself said, He is my brother. This is getting very Games
So
of
they
Thrones.
both lied. So then there you go.
Yeah, bringing it all the lies. He is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and innocence of my hands have I done this. And God said unto him in a dream, wow, it's fantastic. We're finally in dream sequences. This is our first time.
When does Freddy Krueger pop out?
I know, this is awesome. We're getting some interesting exposition. And God said unto him in a dream, Yea, I know thou dost this in the integrity of thy heart, for I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Therefore suffered I thee not touch her. This is right on Yahweh Springer stuff, right?
So then if a bunch of people die in the dream, then it'll be a Yahweh wet dream.
Yeah.
If he kills a bunch of people.
Yeah, I know you didn't do anything wrong. In fact, I stopped you from sinning against me by touching her. Oh yeah, that's what they all say, buddy.
Is that Yahweh's idea of a wet dream when he's drenched in blood?
Yeah, when a bunch of people die, you know.
In fact, you could say Noah's Ark is his idea of a wet dream. It's his plan in action. All right, where were we? Thy heart. 7. Now, therefore, restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet. Oh, is he now? And he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not, know thou that thou shalt surely die, thou and all that are thine.
Well, we know God's not one to lie about some people dying, you know.
Yeah,
surely die.
Is God trying to hold a hostage right now?
I mean, you'll die just like Adam and Eve died when they touched the fruit.
Yeah, God has some clear language issues going on.
You'll die maybe like 900 years later, but you will die.
Yeah. The same day, but 900 and something years later.
Yeah, I always like it when they tell us that someone dies too, because it's always like, and then he begat Sarah and begat Susan, and then he went to 930, and then he died. It's just sudden.
You know what God meant by that same day, right? He meant like, you ate the fruit on a Thursday, you're gonna die on a Thursday.
That would seem to be a
900 and something years later. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what apologist could miss that, right?
Yeah, they seem to like that. And
that's why they came up with that's why they say, he spiritually died.
Yeah. Actually, though, I've never heard an apologist use that one, but if they hear me say it, they will, I'm sure.
Check Answers in Genesis tomorrow or the day after that. You'll see a new entry about that.
Yeah, as soon as they get word of it.
Hey, Titan.
And hello, the lovely Titan, your anus. I'm always going to say it that way. No way off. Okay. And where were we? We were at 8.
8.
Did we just say 7? Therefore, Amalek rose early in the morning and called all his servants once again. Servants, because it's just normal. Just the thing we do now, as told in many stories. Slavery.
Is Titan Uranus better than Lucifer?
I think they'd give each other a run for their money, but I'd have to go with Titan.
Okay.
I hedge my bets on Titan, yeah.
And yes, God definitely needs a psychiatrist.
He needs a padded room. Yeah.
No
And
kidding.
a good attitude. You know what God really needs? He needs some ganja. He needs to chill out. He needs a stable relationship and some ganja. Really. Stop killing people and just relax. Okay. Therefore, Amalekai rose early in the morning, called all his servants, and told all these things in their ears. Oh, he's whispering. And the men were sore we're sore afraid. That really was
that
my
was it.
brain. My brain.
And the men were sore, afterward. That's got to be it.
That had to be it. I like that better. Because it explains all the servants.
Everything makes sense. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. The next morning, Abimelech told everyone about his dream, and they were, scary sore.
Yeah, he seems to be having some issues. I don't know. Okay, so then Amalekai called Abraham and said unto him, What hast thou done unto thus? And what have I offended thee? And thou hast brought on me and my kingdom a great sin. Thou hast done deeds unto me that ought not to be done. And Amalekai said unto Abraham, What sawest thou that thou hast done this thing? They're just going back and forth now. And Abraham said, I almost broke character. And Abraham said, Because I thought surely the fear of the God is not in place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake. Uh-oh.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well,
the annotations basically say, why did you lie to me about your wife? Because I thought you'd kill me to get to my wife.
Well, I mean, from Yahweh's perspective, Yahweh's telling the psychiatrist, like, hey, look, last time I got pissed off, I flooded the whole world. This time I just blew up 2 cities. So that's moving in the right direction.
Oh, progress,
yeah.
people.
And now
progress.
And now this guy's trying to lie to me about his wife, so so I'll kill her instead of him.
As you do.
Like, what do they think? I'm a bad guy or something?
I know you don't want to give Yahweh a bad rap. I mean, that would be. What do you think you were going to do? Sacrifice your child to him or something? That would be terrible. Anyway, Abraham.
That'd be like sacrificing to Moloch. Yeah, terrible.
I know.
Yeah, it's like, but Yahweh, I only sort of lied.
Also,
you'll believe that, won't you?
How do they keep on lying? They keep on trying to lie to God so they know that it's a God, and the omnipresent God keeps on continuously asking questions that he either knows the answer to or is just fucking around.
Well, the Catholic Church figures you got to come in and ask some human for forgiveness for the things that you've done wrong. So evidently God doesn't have a clue how you feel about what you did, or maybe even whether or not you did it, until some priest lets him know.
In fact, daily reminder: if you punch someone in the face, you cannot sacrifice anyone else to undo punching someone to the face. And if you want to seek forgiveness, the person that you want to seek forgiveness from is the person you punched in the face. Daily reminder. Anyway,
yes. So if you really want to ask God for forgiveness, punch him in the face.
Yes. Well, let me tell you, he needs to be taken away from Child Protective Services.
All that thing about the forgiveness and everything, that's because of a couple unusual verses in the New Testament that talks about him giving his disciples the power to forgive sins and whatnot. So that's how the Catholic
isn't it neat how
theology?
Isn't it neat how he can give his son's blood the power to forgive sins, and then he can give his son's disciples the power to forgive sin? He can't seem to give himself the power to forgive sin.
Well, Jesus told the disciples, he said that they would do things even better than he did, even greater than what he did. And he
told that ain't
them,
hard.
Well,
I mean, loaves and fishes, really?
And also, Robert brings up the point that I love to bring up, which is
we got magicians that do way better than that these days.
What are women good for, if not begatting? In fact, Daily reminder also for our Skeptic Bible Study drinking game. Every time someone says a begat, take a shot. You blame the Bible if you get alcohol poisoning. And Abraham says...
Yeah, then it's your fault because you weren't drinking water.
And yet, indeed, she is my sister. Oh, good to know. And she is the daughter of my father. Oh,
God says, Donald, do you want some water, Donald? Because I can
Got
make that
some.
happen. I can make that happen, Donald.
Yeah.
I could spawn
flood
a
all of
hurricane
Los
right over your
Angeles
house,
just to
Donald.
get at me, right?
Yeah.
But not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. All right. And it came to pass, when God caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, I must go on a Pokemon journey. No. This is thy kindness. Kindness? Yes, it is. I almost said kinderness. Kindness, which thou shalt shew unto me at every place. Whither we shall come, say of me, he is my brother. And Ambica took sheep and oxen and men servants, and I guess woman servants too, and gave them unto Abraham, and restored him Sarah, his wife. Once again, biblical. We're not even...
It does seem a little strange. It does seem a little strange that they didn't just say he took servants, because was it really important that he made sure he got them of both genders?
and I may at one point become Matt Dillahunty, but I'm going to bring up slavery every point that they bring it up, because I'm not going to normalize it.
I mean, was the point there to say that he was able to produce more servants because he brought both genders? Is that what they're getting at?
Well, I think what they're trying to get is that, I mean, come on, even in servitude, I'm gonna go full on feminist here. Even in servitude, come on, we got to put the men before the women. Come on now, we can't.
Yeah, that might have been the whole reason. Yeah. I mean, bring the men servant. Yeah, bring some men servant and bring some women servant too.
Right? Like these scribes, like just trying to fill up space on the page. Like, what can I add to it that will not be of any substance? Just make it longer.
That's probably actually more likely the reason.
These stories they're way long, but they're very little is actually happening.
There has been entire chapters that we could have just removed of just people living, begatting, dying, living, begatting, dying.
Well, I think there's a good chance that's where where a lot of that begatting came from. It's like, hey, we get paid by the minute for telling these stories. Add some more begats in there.
So yeah, he didn't just take servants. He took man servants and women servants. That'll be longer.
Mm-hmm. And okay. And Amica said, behold, my land is before thee. Dwell where it pleases thee. Oh, why, thank you.
So if they had been creative, they could have, just made up words and had them bring along servants of like a dozen different genders.
Hey, that depends.
Brought this gender servant and that gender servant and this other gender servant and
now, Donald, you don't want to trigger the theist too quickly. Yes, not too much. We love you, theist brothers and sisters. We love you.
And it's like, and yes, he brought along some servants that could make babies with each other too, so you could have more servants of all those other genders.
So Amy was actually triggering a very well-known but unnamed theist the other day. As she does, just by being yourself.
I do.
Just being yourself is a trigger to them.
Yes.
Unknown, but wait, no, well-known but unnamed.
Oh, yes. I don't know if I can just start drawing.
I can just picture that somebody's like, hey, do you know that theist? Which one? The really well-known one. What's his name? I don't know. I don't think he's got one.
Well, I feel bad. One time, I had Jim once asked me who my favorite theist was, and I said him. And I tried to think of like who a better I tried to think of apologetic. I know who they think the smartest theist is. I think William Lane Craig has a lot of respect, but I don't. It's hard to pick out like a theist
That
who
is such a low bar.
but like but so in an atheist mind view, I know exactly. We all put them. I guess I can't put him though at the same level as like the full on creationist though, because he believes in evolution and he thinks the Earth is round and trying to think what else. Probably does not will give his child vaccinations.
Does he want to bring back slavery?
I don't know. Does he defend slavery? When they all get pushed in the corner in this pushed into the corner on this subject, they seem to.
But don't forget, he also thinks the Kalam cosmological argument is actually a good argument.
Well, that's his shtick.
That's his shtick.
When he dies, it will say William Lane Craig Kalam cosmological argument. That will be.
I mean, I can just picture, Kent Hovind and Ken Ham getting in a debate with each other, both ending up badly humiliating and looking at each other and simultaneously saying, well, at least I don't believe in the Kalam cosmological argument.
Hey. And no, probably people like Ken Hovind do. He probably thinks that's amazing and intellectual and like I said, that's what I mean when I say Ken Hovind. When he's the respectable theologian. When I think of theists telling me about respectable theologians, I'm trying.
William Lane Craig, you mean?
Yeah, and the human genome guy.
Actually, on Modern Day Debate, there was just another geocentrism debate today.
I just saw that. I missed that, but that's
same guy, Robert Sejenis, the Catholic scholar on there.
If I had made it, that probably would have been this podcast, because that sounds like we did flat Earth, but we haven't done geocentrism. Maybe we should do that tomorrow, just on the topic.
Yeah, we could do that.
At a random time. Because I have just been getting into that, and I've been getting more interested in trying to debunk flat Earth and geocentrism and those sorts of, we'll just say views. We'll be generous.
Oh, by the way, for that upcoming, debate review breakdown thing, any chance you can set up a link for that in advance so I can share the link?
So once again, to check my own sanity, we're having a debate review this Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with you, myself, and Aaron Ra.
Yeah, it's Wednesday. It's let's see, it's 2 p.m. my time. It's 4 p.m. his time and 5 p.m. your time. You're in Eastern, right?
Yes, and you're saying okay. I just checking my sanity, but yes, advertisements.
Yeah, I mentioned it. I mentioned it somewhere. The first place I mentioned it was in the Phylogeny Explorer project, I think. And I got the month wrong. I said January. I got corrected on that.
Well, hey, it's been moving so fast that I can't believe 2020 is over.
Yeah. Well, I told you I'm not good with dates.
Hey, that is okay. So I'm going to post the link back in chat if anyone would like to join us. Once again, we're having a Skeptic Bible study on barbecuing Isaac. He's, as they say, what's for dinner?
I was about cooking someone up with me.
Yeah, something like that.
So where did we leave off? Were we on 15 or 16? I think we were on 16.
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
One of those two.
I'm posting the link, but yes, give me 1 second, guys. I hate doing dead time, so I'll just say I love all of you watching and all of you people in chat. And let's get back to Bible studying.
God opens all the wombs in the kingdom. Huh.
Ooh, welcome, Grumpy. Don't mind me at all. Num 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 num. Okay, God opens all wombs in. Wow, that could be taken a few different ways. Let's find out on the next episode of Dragon. Oh, no. Okay, so Abraham prayed unto God, and God healed Amlika and his wife and his maidservants. I'm sorry, something must have been in my throat. And they bare children, for the Lord had fast closed up all the wombs of the house of Amalekai because of Sarah, Abraham's wife.
Let's see
So
what the notes say on that one.
Indeed. So Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Amalekai because he apparently picks and chooses who he heals and has direct communication with them, and his wife and his female slaves, and so that they all bear children. Very specific.
Excuse me, Mr. Wabbit, but do you have any wombs for Went?
They're all full right now. Come back next time. Babies and all of them.
Don't worry, we can magic poof them back. God had closed all the wombs in Amaleki's house because he believed Abe's lie. So once again, he is opening and closing women's vajayjays like he owns a diner.
Yeah, that uterus is property of Yahweh.
It is very interesting. Hello, Mark. Woohoo! And I'm not sure.
Bear,
And
like
hello.
bear children, like bear cubs.
And hello, Spooky. And so, yeah, so we're moving along. We've had some lovely justice and family values. And once again, at least every once in a while, a woman gets a name. So, I mean, that's kind of cool.
I mean, when they're not giving birth.
Exactly. When they're not being begatted. God visits Sarah and she conceives. Oh, baby, let's bring back that sex, some absurdity and contradictions.
Yeah, I can just see people back then going,
Hey,
"Oh,
Spooky.
you." I just see people back then going, "Oh, so your wife's going to be a main character." What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean my wife's going to be a main character? She's got a name.
Yeah. A name?
My wife don't have a name. My neighbor's wife don't have a name. I know they're not going to be main characters.
Well, my wife is actually a person. Did you know that? Because we found out in the previous
actually a person, huh?
study that women and people are in different categories. They're not synonymous.
Women and people and children. Yes, children are also in a different category than people.
Yeah, they're not really people. Yeah.
Now, wait a second. When you say different from people, do you mean like we can sacrifice them?
No, just when you're making an inventory, like your spoils of war. You know, you take the animals,
you count
the women.
You count the men and the property.
Exactly. And okay, let's get into some sex. God visits Sarah, and she conceives. And the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived, and bare Abraham a son in his old age, which I'm pretty sure was 90, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so
90, and she was 80, or no, yeah, something like that.
Which I understand is old for us, but I mean, 600, 700, 900 old humans. And whoo, gonna go for it. Welcome, Peter.
Hey.
I don't know. At this point, it feels kind of silly that they're pointing out that he's old when
it's
Noah...
like they're back. It's like they're in reality now that 90 is very old and 80-year-old women don't have babies.
Yeah, every once in a while, because I imagine that Noah he probably wasn't doing backflips, but in my head, Noah was 600 years old doing backflips on the ark, going, "Ha ha, suckers!"
I mean, he built the ark at 500. He obviously
Exactly.
wasn't bedridden, and he was still planting a vineyard and getting drunk afterwards. You know.
I know I couldn't build an ark. I'm just saying. I mean, I feel like I pat myself on the back often, but I don't think I can build an ark. I'm just saying, and I'm not 600.
I'm just thinking to myself, are we really sure he wasn't bedridden? Because if he was, that wouldn't be the first thing in the Bible not to make sense.
Yeah. Well, just a lovely reminder. This comes up often. The Bible loves to contradict itself. In fact, okay, well, what number were we on? Oh, we're about to get some circumsmizzle.
We're on 2 or 3.
For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age, of course, at the set time of which God had spoken to him. Wow, and exactly. God was like, baby. And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah bare to him, Isaac.
So we just skipped the entire pregnancy. We just went from conception to birth in one sentence.
I know, that was faster than a stork. Whew. No plan B in that sentence. And Abraham circumschmizzled his son Isaac, being 8 days old. I
swear, if the Bible had storks delivering babies, Christians these days, they'd just be going, well, things were different back then.
Now, excuse me, Donald. That is a silly myth, and clearly I could go into detail on how that is biologically and physically and chemistry wrong. But now, people coming back from the dead, water separating and the sea parting and drowning all the Egyptians, but not like my buddies.
Women being made from a rib.
Yeah, women being made from a rib and snakes having vocal cords. Come on now.
Yeah, the short form is there's a sentence in the Bible somewhere that, makes sense and is true. And the rest of it's metaphorical.
Someone asked Robert Sejenis in the debate today about if he took Genesis literally with talking snake. And he said, yeah. He even pointed out there's also a donkey in the Bible that talks. He says if God wants to make an animal talk, like a snake or a donkey, he can make him talk if he wants to. So
are you trying to tell me that Shrek is in the Bible? Because if characters from Shrek are in the Bible, they may have gotten me. And hey, Randolph. Woohoo!
Hey, Randolph.
To our fun Bible study.
Yeah. I can just see it. The snake scares the donkey by going, "Hey, watch it! You almost stepped on me." And the donkey's like, "Oh, sorry, snake." In
that rendition, the guy riding the donkey was beating the donkey because the donkey wouldn't go. So he kept hitting the donkey with the stick, and after 3 times, the donkey turns around and is like, "Why are you hitting me with the stick?"
Yeah. Yeah, can't you see there's a talking snake in front of us? It's dangerous for me to keep going.
Well, there was an angel in front of him. The donkey could see the angel, but the rider couldn't. So there you go.
Yeah, but Satan was an angel, right? I rest my case.
Snake angel.
We haven't gotten so far. And so, Randolph, what are your thoughts so far?
Angel, snake, same thing in the Bible.
This is the section where Abraham's ordered to kill his own son, right?
We're warming up, baby. We're warming up, getting that fire started.
The big red flag to me on this is that after that event was over and Isaac is safe, there's no reflection on what the psychological ramifications for Isaac could be. So when Christians tell me that this is a book that teaches lessons, to me, there's a lot missing from this lesson.
What lesson was that?
This is like a Charlie Brown situation where God is holding the football. The football is Isaac's life, and
we all have that. We all look back with fondness on the growing up when our parents were about to kill us.
You know, I hate to put it so bluntly, but the whole Bible is a Charlie Brown situation. I mean, think about it. Every time God wants to say something, it comes out.
Well, except maybe the part about donkeys' genitals and things like that. I think maybe
that's a good
not
one,
Charlie
yeah.
Brown material.
There's gonna be donkeys' genitals.
Yeah, the women lusted after their genitals so much because they were the size of donkeys.
That's the one.
Yeah, yeah.
I would
Yeah.
say
But-
that's
but I mean-
probably the
but I mean, if
exception
you
to
think
the
about
Charlie
it-
Brown rule.
But I mean, if you think about it, can't you just picture like Charlie Brown meeting God and going, "You sound just like my teacher"?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, you know, it's only recently that God seems to womp 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 or be silent. Back then, he seems to be handing out very specific orders and seems to speak English or Hebrew or Latin or whatever the hell they were speaking back then.
Yeah, well, translator error. You know, the translator didn't know how to write.
Okay, so what number were we? You just circumschmizzled, right?
Yeah,
So
6.
And Abraham was 100
I'm
years
glad I
old.
missed the
What's that?
I'm glad I missed the circumcision there.
Oh, I'm sure, aren't we all?
We can redo
bet
it if
he
you
wished
want,
he was.
Randolph. We
Sorry?
can go over it again. We can go over it again if you want.
No, I'm a real life victim of circumcision. I don't want to go over it again.
I'm sympathetic.
Traumatized by that enough already, huh?
Yeah, with the scar tissue tearing and the phantom pain, I'm totally against circumcision.
Yeah, I you know. Well, let me put it this way: I'd rather not go through it a second time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely
because the
not.
first one they didn't cut deep enough. Ugh.
Not go. Okay, so 6, this is interesting. And Sarah said, God hath made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me. This is like the second or third time.
Yeah. That Sarah was laughing. Oh my God.
Yes, because God couldn't even do his own laughing, so people could just laugh with him.
God's like a stand-up comedian in this shit.
So what's she
People
laughing
start
at you?
laughing.
What is she laughing?
God.
God. Yeah.
So, and
Hopefully
Yes.
not laughing at the
It says
circumcision.
God made her laugh. I mean, she's laughing at God. Okay, what else could that mean?
it's not actually the first time she's done it either.
No,
This-
yeah, she's done it
second
before.
time.
She has like hysterical fits.
Perfect
Yep,
humanized.
God. Yep, God showed her his manhood and caused her to laugh.
Yeah,
I was in a debate recently with somebody who showed his. It was not good.
yes. Shout off to Penis Pants out there at both Modern Day Debate, and I think he hangs out at Praise's channel. And he was on Tart when he was doing it, right? Oh, he was on
Gavin.
I
Yeah.
think they're calling him. I heard they were calling him Pantless Stapler Boy
Pantsless Stable.
Pantsless
like
stapler boy, huh?
because he looks like some character in a movie called Stapler Boy. I'm not really sure.
Oh, actually, I'll go opposite drama. See, Smokey, we can agree on things. I like it when we, because the other theists give I think, Gavin and Praise so much shit. I love you too, Praise and Penis Boy. I love you both.
Oh boy.
You hear that, Gavin? She wants your. Wah, wah.
Okay.
He's in New Zealand.
Yeah.
He's a bit far away.
Yeah, you know that was one of the mistakes that God made when he tried to make humans in His image. That's why and he's trying to tell them, look, if you want to be more like me, you got to do this, and that's how He made her laugh.
Oh. Oh.
Well, you guys are going to cut the tip of yours off. That way it's more
Yeah,
like.
yeah, you got to make it look more like this. That's
Yeah.
how He made her laugh.
Smaller.
Now, am I correct in my understanding that God wanted a certain number, but ended up the people brought back more?
Oh, that's a story we'll get to later on, yeah. He wanted 100. I think they brought 200 foreskins.
Now, there's something seriously wrong with those people. This is not a matter of miscounting. This is a matter of they're enjoying what they're doing.
Yeah.
They really loved cutting those foreskins. Yeah.
Also, that's
Well, that was payment. That was payment for getting a wife. Maybe he thought he'd get two that way.
That's probably it. Yeah, because property is expensive.
and so,
Foreskins talk. Money talks and foreskins talk.
our new, I guess it's popcorn. Our new anytime that
Hey,
we go back to the Bible or you want to say something, interrupt the Bible, you can say foreskin. We can
yeah. So yeah, snakes talk, donkeys talk. Why not foreskin popcorn talking? You know.
Just because I'm looking at the word.
Or
just 'cause I'm
if you're
looking at the
Gavin,
word
you just
weed.
go ahead and show your foreskin.
There you go. And okay, where were we? She made him laugh, and she said unto Abraham that Sarah should have. What the hell? I'm going to start over again so I read that sentence. And she said, who would have said unto Abraham that Sarah should have given children suck? For I have borne him a son in his old age, and I quit. The Bible's making me do that.
That's
It's gotta
a
be the
crime
mission.
in
The offer's
37
wrong.
states.
yeah, no kidding.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Okay. Sarah
Yeah,
tells-
it's like they're basically going, man. You think cutting off the end of a penis is bad? Children suck.
Having this boy suck on my breast all day long. My God.
Once again, biblical morality. Sarah,
Biblical breastfeeding.
biblical breastfeeding.
It's a
Sarah
standard.
tells exactly. It's the biblical standard. We have standards here, like how to own other people's property. I'm going to keep on bringing that up. And Sarah
Yeah.
tells him to abandon his first son, Ishmael. Really?
Yeah, they send him away.
Oh, I think this is our first LGBT mark. This is
Oh.
interesting. I think. So,
The Bible's more progressive than I
or
thought.
no, wait, no. That couldn't have been because of Sodom and Gomorrah. So
Yeah,
maybe
I
I
was
didn't
gonna say
see
God
it.
just got done murdering a bunch of gay people.
That's true.
Uh,
Okay, but it is LGBT.
Yeah.
I guess the whole Sodom and Gomorrah thing was a long story. So the nuking, you'd have to put it at the end there. First son, okay. And the child grew, as they do, and was weaned, as they do. And Abraham made a great feast in the same day that Isaac was weaned. I mean, okay. Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, which she had borne unto Abraham mocking. Once again, take us back into New York. We have a
So
real
basically-
place.
So basically, the day their son was finally able to eat foreskin popcorn, they made him a feast.
Peradventure.
Exactly. We had a fair adventure. I'd say 50% of the time I'm making jokes on the Bible's behalf. 50% of the time it's because my brain has no idea what those words are. It just goes with the flow. And woohoo!
Yeah, a lot of
Welcome
it's
to-
amazing how much is probably going over our heads. That yeah.
And woohoo! Welcome to you know
My-
what's
Hey,
so
Oz.
funny
My
about
brain-
that, Oz? Oh no,
my
good.
brain just went. My brain just went temporarily dyslexic, and I saw Sarah was the son of Hagar.
Well, Dak, you've just been sodomized in the head by the Holy Spirit. Congratulations.
yeah, something like that.
Really quickly,
Uh,
I don't because I don't want to completely drag Facebook into it and drama, but I've been debating with a theist on Facebook, and she's basically been saying, "Convince me Christianity is wrong," and I would say over the course of the months, I feel like I'm gloating now. I feel like I've slowly gained ground, and she has slowly convinced me that Jesus was not real, which I just not think was her original goal. Let's just put it nicely that way. But it's just been like I've been really pushing that whole "where's the body" thing, and she's been trying to push the body is actually the evidence. The body is not evidence. I'm sorry, but no.
Jesus
Well,
is myth.
at
I agree
least
with
that's-
that.
At least that's better than saying the lack of a body is the evidence, because it's like we've got how many
Empty
billions of
tomb.
bodies? We got how many billions of bodies, and we're going to say, well, we've checked them all, and none of them were him.
Come on,
Like,
Dak. Empty tomb. Empty tomb. What do you got to say? Empty tomb.
Yeah, Yes,
Empty
yes,
tomb. Where's
and
the
not to
body?
mention all those, unoccupied buildings that don't have a corpse laying in them because he could have been there, and so every one of those he's not in proves he was real, and all the streets that he might have been left laying in, and you don't see him laying out there, so that all proves, yeah, right.
I mean, come on, Donald. There's 4 accounts of eyewitnesses that witnessed everything he did. They witnessed him having that conversation with the tree. I mean, come on.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the writers who wanted us to believe he was a real character wrote that there were people who witnessed him. So, how could we not believe that, right?
It says the disciples heard him, so Jesus ran out, and he was talking to the tree, but the disciples could hear him. He was talking loud to the tree. He must have been yelling at it. He was pissed off.
Yeah.
Shout out also to the Atheist Experience, who now sells shirts that say, "What about the tree?" The tree on
it. Yes, the tree was throwing apples at him, and he got mad at it because he wanted figs.
Well, Yahweh has all these interesting demands, likes, wants, things that trigger him. He's very human, at least in the Old Testament. I've been surprised. He has been
very insecure.
A character.
Very insecure. Yes.
Insecure. Oh my God. Insecure, immature. How many words can I throw out here?
It's like if you took a 10-year-old and gave him a universe of his own to run, just how he saw fit.
Yeah,
go ahead, do whatever you want.
Well, when I was 10, I would have loved an opportunity like that, and I would have done the best job I could. I wasn't one of those kids who destroyed his own toys. So I guess it depends on the kid.
Well, Yahweh must have been.
Yahweh seems to be
strapping firecrackers to his G.I. Joes.
Yeah, he'd be one of those.
And and
he'd make one of the other G.I. Joes light it.
Yeah, and for no reason. And my thing is, I wish he had taken a friggin' bite out of that apple of knowledge of good and evil.
Then a medic would intervene.
He seems to have no idea what good and evil is. Like, Yahweh's just cruising, doing whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
Okay.
This whole thing is a concoction born of mushroom use, I'm sure.
Oh, see, and that
would
Lord
Most High
make a lot more sense.
The Lord Most High.
Yeah, didn't they say that at one point?
A couple times, yeah.
We have to reread some passages sometimes just to make sure that I am understanding what the friggin' text says. Did he really say that? Did he really say that? He really said that. Okay.
Peradventure, he sure did.
Peradventure, time for a genocide or two. What's a city or two between friends? Da-da-da-da. And your wife. Gone. Bye. Okay, we're done. Okay. Wherefore, take Abraham.
You'll have a lifetime supply of salt.
Exactly. We're here all night, folks.
Are you guys familiar with the character Anthony Fremont by any chance?
Maybe.
No.
If not, you might want to look that one up.
And yes, God is basically Sid from Toy Story.
Yeah. Oh, this is Anthony Fremont. That's actually it's from an episode of The Twilight Zone called "It's a Good Life," which had at least one sequel to it as well. I think that there was a sequel called "It's Still a Good Life," like many years later, where Anthony Fremont, the same actor that played Anthony Fremont, Bill Mummy, played Anthony Fremont again, but as an adult. He was a kid in the first episode. A kid with sort of godlike powers, by the way. So I said you might find that worth looking up. that thing you did there, Anthony. Yeah, that was a really good thing. Yeah, we're all happy with the way you did that to that poor innocent person.
Yeah, Yahweh likes to.
Don't get upset with us, okay?
And okay, we're making our way through. I think we're almost up to the juicy part. If there was such a thing. Wherefore
Yeah.
she said unto Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son, as you do, for the son of this bondwoman shall
Yeah.
not be heir with my son, even with Isaac. And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight. Oh, now something's grievous, is it? Because of his son. So let's just go over some notes here. Abraham had a feast to celebrate the day that Isaac was weaned. I said that was okay, a little bit late on the baby shower, but sure. On the same day, apparently, Sarah saw Ishmael mocking his newly weaned little brother. Okay, that's kind of what older
Yeah,
brother.
and then he's looking at his thing and saying it's really grievous. It's still got its turtleneck.
So Sarah said to Abraham, cast out this slave woman and her son. Okay, well, that escalated quickly.
Even though the whole Abraham having a son with her servant was her idea to begin with, now she wants to throw him out.
Oh.
Yeah, it was her idea to begin with. She's like, Abraham, fuck my servant.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, once again, we're going a
Yeah,
little bit.
and Abraham's like, okay.
Okay. Yahweh likes his puppets to dance. They're watching him dance. Okay. God tells Abraham to do as Sarah says. Oh, we get to some cruelty. Here we go. And God said unto Abraham, yes, everyone likes the R-rated. Here we go, baby. Let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad, and because of thy bondwoman, in all that Sarah hath said unto thee, hearken unto her voice. For in Isaac thy seed, oh yeah, baby, be called, and also of the son of the bondwoman will I make a nation, because he is thy seed. God said to Abraham, don't worry about Ishmael and Hagar. Shh. Bros before hoes, dude.
Toss him out.
Yeah,
I'll take care of him.
Yeah, meanwhile, Abraham completely forgot. Abraham completely forgot the promise that made God to him, and that God made to him on that romantic starry night. You know, when he promised that the child would be born out of his his abdomen.
Yeah. Oh, weird.
Well, God's had an anatomy lesson, so I think he's got himself straight.
Yeah, it's like pay no attention to the fact that that kid came out of someone other than yourself. Yeah, that's the one I promised. All right.
And all right, as any good lad or any good slave really would do, Abraham does as he's told. Here we go. So we have some absurdity, some injustice, some biblical family values, and some good old contradictions.
He took bread. Wow, very nice.
And Abraham rose up early in the morning and took bread and a bottle of water and gave it unto Hagar, putting it onto her shoulder. And the child sent her away, and she departed and wandered into the wilderness of Beersheba.
Beer.
Okay.
I see beer there.
Oh, at Beerland. We'll call that
Beersheba.
Beersheba.
Beersheba. Beersheba.
Finally, we find some place decent to go to in the Bible. Besides all the normal places and the fictional places, this is a cool fictional place. There we
Cheers.
go. Cheers, indeed. And the water was spent in the bottle, and she cast the child under one of the shrubs, and the water ran out, and Hagar put the little boy under a bush, okay? And she went and sat her down over against him a good way off, as it were a bow shot. For she said, let me not see the death of the child. Yeah, you probably don't want to see your kid die. That's probably a good thing, but Yahweh. And she sat over against him and lifted up her voice and wept. And God heard the voice of the lad, and the angel of God. I feel like we're traveling through England in all different time periods. And God heard the voice of the lad, and the angel of God called to Hagar out of heaven and said unto her, what aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for God hath heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise, lift up the lad and hold him into thine hand. Oh, I'm getting really big Lion King vibes right here. And
Yep.
I will make him a great nation.
Lion King.
Yeah, like
That's
he's
when they
holding
raise
him.
up Simba.
Okay. Like the lion. I thought there was an actual reference to a Lion King. Sorry.
Yes.
So
Oh my gosh.
This is saying like God just Abraham, dumps this woman and her child. They go wandering around, and then Yahweh's just doing his thing, and then he hears the kid crying. He's like, "Oh shit, maybe I should do something about those guys." So then the angel comes down and says, "Yeah. God heard your kid whining and crying. Don't worry about it."
And I'm very proud to have with us, it seems, the CEO himself of mythology. Welcome on board our little fun Skeptic Bible study.
What's up, everybody?
Not too much.
Just reading some Bible.
Oh, the CEO of mythology. Great. I can finally hold someone to account for all this nonsense.
So when God found that little round thing on the floor and asked them, what's this? They just told him that's the circle of life, not a foreskin.
Exactly. Simba, it's the foreskin of life.
It's
So
the
he lifts him
foreskin
up.
of life.
I was trying to think of the song. Thank you for doing it. I was trying to parody it.
Oh, Amy, I put something in the private chat.
It's a real misfortune. Yeah.
Amy, I found a picture of Beersheba. There's a link in the private chat.
And then they said that the
And
penis
now
is
it's in regular
irreducibly
chat.
complex.
Yeah.
I would like to see that apologetic.
I'm surprised no apologist or creationist has yet argued that dating is irreducibly complex or something to that effect.
Oh, don't give them
Like,
more
how
ideas.
how could we have ever gotten that started if God didn't do it first? It's like
Yeah.
So this is Beersheba.
Okay.
It kind of looks like where Ken Hovind went to school.
But
I read his dissertation.
Hold on. What did somebody
It's
just
like-
say? Somebody just said
it's like
Kent
a-
Hovind went to school.
It's like a diary.
yeah.
That's
Where
how-
he mailed his check to
Yeah,
for
he-
his degree.
Yeah, he
I
went
read his
to
dissertation.
homeschool. He went to homeschool and Christian school and all kinds of schools and taught stuff that he hadn't learned himself.
Yeah, I read his dissertation. It looks like an entry in his own personal diary, the way it reads out. It's like,
Yeah, I've seen that.
I
What
love it.
was his
not what I was expecting at all.
dissertation?
It started with, "Hello, my name is Kent Hovind."
yeah,
That explains that explains why he can only
the
afford
first page in his
good-
personal diary.
That
Yeah,
explains
it
why
was
he
basically
can-
like his slideshow, like his script that he gives in all his presentations. That's basically
Yeah,
it.
I think there's a video series out there named "Hello, my name is Kent" in honor of that, or something to that effect.
Oh, really?
And what was that, CEO?
I forget which YouTube channel that was on.
I
Was
said
that
that explains.
Logic? Did he call it "Hello, my name is Kent Hovind"?
It might have been Logic. Yeah, that might have been Logic that had a series by that name.
And then he had the Kent Hovind song playing.
Hello,
at
my
the
name is
beginning,
Kent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he did John
that sounds
Pendleton.
right. Oh yeah, he had a lot of fun with John Pendleton, didn't he?
He certainly did.
I love the way
Mechanic.
I love the way Logic interrupts the videos that he's reviewing in ways that he kind of makes it look like he's having a two-way conversation with them. It's a neat little spiel he's got going there.
Yeah. John Pendleton, scientist, midwife, father, husband, mechanic.
Yeah.
I know. And okay, so we're gonna go back. CEO, did you want to make a point?
No. Let Dax keep talking. He likes to talk.
No, we're going back in. And God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water, and she went and filled the bottle with water and gave the lad drink. I really like how they're using the word lad now. I'm
Isn't
not
that
even
interesting? Isn't that interesting? She couldn't even open her eyes on her own. She had to have God do that for her.
So we've got drinking water. This is an action-packed story.
I know. You can't say the Bible doesn't have excitement. And God was with the lad, and he grew, and dwelt in the wilderness, and became an archer. Oh my God, we got our first class. That's fantastic. I think we leveled up, everyone. High fives all around. We finally
D&D
have a
class.
class.
Yeah, perfect.
We're an archer. Welcome to D&D, ladies and gentlemen. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took him a wife out of the land of Egypt.
Yeah.
All right, that's
Yeah.
almost a cultural line.
Yeah, it's like what's your job? Oh, I'm an archer. Well, what have you hit? Well, I hit my cousin's eye once.
Oh.
It's
And
like
okay, ooh. What was that?
No, go ahead.
Oh no, it's just we're coming up to some contradictions in science and history. That's always fun.
Okay, that's a big one.
Ooh, so Abraham swears to God. I don't know why he would have to, but okay.
Did God condemn him to hell for that?
He just
How dare
seems
you
to-
swear to me?
I wonder if
He's-
the Sinner's Bible says swears at God.
Swear.
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised.
It also says thou shalt commit adultery, apparently.
Abraham
Oh.
says, "I swear by the moon and the stars tonight."
My dad's Bible. Years ago. When he had all his study notes and stuff like that, said, go out and sin, and then you turn the page and it said no more.
Contradictions? No way.
I know. But excuse me, there's no contradictions in the Bible. None at all. None.
No, it's just this atheist trying to make it look
Oh.
like there's contradictions.
That's what that one was. That one wasn't a contradiction. That was just a to be continued.
Exactly. And it came to pass that the Lord of the not the Lord of the Rings. At the time that Amaleki and Pikal, the chief captain of his hosts, spake unto Abraham,
The
saying,
chief captain.
the chief, not just any captain,
The chief
the
captain.
chief captain, go chief. All right. Saying, God is with thee in all that thou doest. Well, good to know. He's supposed to be everywhere. So now, therefore, swear unto me here by God that thou will not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's son, but according to the kindness that I have done unto thee, thou shalt do unto
Kindness.
me and to thy land wherein thy hast sojourned.
Kindness.
Yeah, I don't know, kindness.
You guys ever seen the original Pink Panther movies from the 60s and 70s when they're like Inspector Clouseau and he's like Chief Inspector Clouseau? It's like this like captain. That's the chief captain, bitch.
I think I've seen one or more of those, but they weren't really memorable enough for me to be able to be sure. I'm pretty sure I've seen them.
Oh, they're hilarious. They're one of a kind.
And it was you, Oz. I thought it was your voice. I was like,
Yeah, that had sounded like us.
But I didn't want to say the wrong name because then I feel bad. And Abraham said, "I will swear." And Abraham reproved Amlical because of a well of water, which Amlical, I want to make more Pokemon names, servants had violently taken away. And Amakachu said, "I what not, who had half done this thing? Neither didst thou tell me, neither yet heard I of it, but today." And Abraham took sheep of oxen and gave them unto Amlical, and both of them made a covenant. And Abraham set 7 ewe lambs. I feel like that's a number. He didn't just go like 7 ewe lambs of flock.
7 you.
Abimelech?
Flock by themselves.
Is that
Is it-
Abimelech?
Oh, I wasn't even saying. Well, now that's Abimelech.
I don't know. Umbilical. Close enough.
Okay,
Yeah,
umbilical cord. And umbilical cord
That's what we need.
said unto Abraham. What was that, Rhonda?
Umbilical set on to Abraham. Yes.
Exactly. What mean
Hey, we got
these?
talking snakes and donkeys. Why not, right?
Why not? They hate the talking snakes line, by the way. It's not talking shit.
Yeah,
They hate
yeah. It's not a snake. It's a serpent.
It's a serpent. Just like it's not
a serpent. A serpent that's actually an angel, by the way. So it's got wings and 2 legs and 2 arms, but it slithers on the ground because the Bible says that's what it does. So oh yeah, and it eats dust because snakes don't eat dust, serpents do.
as they do.
Winged 2-legged serpents eat dust.
What do unicorns eat?
Hold on. I'm saying
Sasquatch farts?
I'm asking.
What was that?
Oh no.
Where does it say the snake has wings? I've never read that.
Well, because I'm just saying, a lot of Christians, most Christians, think or claim or both that the serpent in the Garden of Eden and Satan were the same being, and that Satan was an angel of God who, was also a serpent. So yeah, serpent with wings.
Some Christians have told me it's not a snake; it's a serpent.
That's what I said. Some of them will get upset if you call it a snake. It's not a snake; it's a serpent.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
They'll if you show them a snake and a serpent, can they tell you which is which?
They'll say it would have been like in human form, like some type of reptilian humanoid is.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If they really thought about the story and you showed them a snake and a serpent and asked them which is which, they'd be like, well, they're both snakes. Neither one of those has wings.
And some of them will say that that what was really happening there is that the serpent had sex with Eve, and that was really the fruit. It wasn't a literal tree.
Yeah, that's what it really was. Is that the angel Satan tempted Eve with the snake?
Yeah, he had sex with Eve, and then that was Cain. And
I want you to know these hypotheses.
This sounds like the Pornhub version, actually.
Yeah.
Satan and Eve made Cain.
I was going to say, this is just some person sitting there with a pen going, ooh, this is how the fanfic should go.
I think it's just a different strain of mushrooms.
Just trying to make it work,
Yeah. And somebody's like, how come? Hey, Eve, how come you and Satan made Cain instead of like someone else? And she's like, well, because he wasn't able.
I got your back there. And Amlical said peradventure. Said unto Abraham. Yeah, maybe peradventure should be our new popcorn word. I don't know why I blush every time I say foreskin. Even though at speed of sound they say it over there so easy. I'm a comedian. I should be able to say it, right? Foreskin. I'm sorry, Grandma. Okay. What mean these new lambs which thou hast set by themselves? And he said, for these 7 lambs shalt thou take of my hand, that they may be witness unto me, and that I have digger as well. I forget what the digging Pokemon is called.
I think instead of foreskin as a safe word here, we should be using yeast.
Yeast?
Yeah, yeast.
Yeast. I don't know. I don't know. I'm telling you, that makes my head.
Because think about
Diglett.
it, Yahweh.
Diglett.
Think about it. You don't want Yahweh messing with you. Just keep mentioning yeast. He can't stand the stuff.
But do it from the safety of an iron chariot.
Yes.
Always do it from iron chariots, because apparently that is the only way that you can overcome God. Though humans seem to overcome God. That's exactly where my thank you doorknob. That's exactly where.
Well, you know why Yahweh was so scared of iron chariots, right?
Why?
Well, he could see the future, right?
That's what they doesn't say so actually in the Bible apparently, but that's what the
But if he
Christians
knows
tell us.
everything, he has to know the future. And I mean, think,
Yes.
just think, what a fit it put him into when he found somebody building a little mud brick tower.
Yeah, he got
And
pissed off.
look at the size buildings you see these days with all the iron chariots running around them.
Yeah, and you would think that since we have taller buildings now, and I like mud. I mean, no one's knocking mud, but if mud pisses him off, I feel like concrete should make his brains go crazy.
Exactly. So it's like, oh no, not that time period. Get those iron chariots away from me.
And okay, we're almost.
People there figured out how to build something bigger than that little mud brick building, and I can't figure out how to take it down either.
Peradventure.
He's like, I can't re-scramble the languages. I already did that.
Yeah.
Well,
and he's been trying earthquakes for like as long as Los Angeles has been around, and people just reinforce the buildings.
Well, he made a promise that he wouldn't drown people. I don't even know why he made a promise not to drown people. I mean, okay. And then he just nuked 2 cities and then turned a lady into salt. And I feel like we're about to get up to some exciting barbecue.
Yes,
so hold on, everybody.
He only promised not to drown them in water again. He didn't say anything about sulfuric acid.
Exactly. It's like you're in Saw, and the guy is like, listen, we're not going to be using string anymore or something like that. I'm going to let you out of the first chamber. And it's like, oh, of course. The fun's over. No.
Yes, no more old-fashioned hand saws. We won't be doing that anymore. I'm going to be nicer than that.
No, the fun is just begun.
What's that noise?
And okay, so thus they made a covenant at Beerland, and then what did we change this to? I forget. Umbilical cord rose up.
Yeah, umbilical.
Umbilical, the chief captain of his host, and they returned into the land of the Philistines. We come back to New York somehow. And Abraham planted a groove in Beerland and called there on the name of the Lord, the everlasting God. And Abraham, and Most High. Thank you. Praise. And Abraham, we're shouting out names today. What's that?
Who was that artist that wore the meat outfit to the awards ceremony?
Gaga.
That was me.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was Lady Gaga.
That Abraham, that reminds me of that.
That almost sounds good. Shout out to my vegan friends, but that sounds good. Okay, and Abraham sojourned in the Philistine lands many days. Woohoo! Ladies and gentlemen, we've made it. Welcome.
Here we go.
Please, everyone, I want you to grab plates. Get into a single file line. No one push anyone out. We'll get as much Isaac to everyone as we can.
Yeah. Yes. And a side order of Abraham.
This sounds so cannibalistic. It's very biblical.
Very in keeping with Yahweh,
Yes. Yes, he had to go light up that kindling.
Page 6 on Yahweh's cooking book. Book of recipes.
We've been having basically a Yahweh cookbook. I think you should make a podcast, but that gets into my Ayatollah joke. Okay, God tells I'm just kidding. God tells Abraham to kill his son Isaac. Let's take a look over here and look at the menu. We get some good old destruction. We have some injustice, some family values, and some good old contradiction. Really
and
fills
Abraham's
up the plate.
Just like, okay, kill my son. Okay,
what could go wrong? Look, what's a son between friends?
Okay.
And
what's he got to worry about anyway? I mean, the only thing he really wanted the son for was all of the descendants of that son. And, Yahweh already promised him that they were going to outnumber the stars in the sky. So, one son will do the job as good as another. What's he care if God decides to tell him he's got to, murder the one that he's got? Because
he's a young 90 years old. He can get more.
And besides,
he's 100 now.
Besides, if he was paying attention, he would know that wasn't the one God promised him because it didn't come from his own bowels.
Exactly. I think that's, ladies and gentlemen, that's Donald's favorite, I think, passage in the Bible is the fact that appears to be my
favorite passage in the Bible isn't even in the Bible. That's how much I love that book. Yeah. By the way,
the Val Baby. Shout out to the Val Baby passage.
By the way, there is also there's also an episode of the Twilight Zone, if I'm not mistaken, entitled "To Serve Man,"
yes.
where they translate the cover of a book
warning
from some aliens. Yeah, spoiler warning. They translate the cover of a book "To Serve Man," and find out by the end of the episode that can be taken more than one way.
That was a good one. I remember
the classic
when I was
one.
a kid.
So just imagine, Abraham every time he used the toilet to make sure that there was not a sun coming out of him.
Just in case.
Yeah.
And okay, ladies and gentlemen, without
was there
ado,
a baby in there?
Cooking.
Was there a baby in that one? No. Okay.
Yeah. Have you seen the episode "It's a Good Life"?
I have not.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's got Bill Mummy. Bill Mummy plays this little kid named Anthony Freeman, and Fremont, Anthony Fremont, and little Anthony has some somewhat unique powers. And like for example, if he doesn't like someone, he can just kind of send them out to the cornfield by thinking about it, and nobody ever sees them again.
See, the cornfield became a culture reference.
So everybody in his whole town is like really nice to him and everything he does, they tell him it's a good thing because they don't want to be sent out to the cornfield or worse. They don't want him doing some terrible thing to them. So when he does some terrible thing to someone else, they thank him for it and tell him what a wonderful thing it was. Sounds an awful lot like Yahweh, doesn't it? Can you imagine living for all of eternity with a monster like that?
Yeah, well, that's James's point. You get to praise and praise and praise forever with a monster.
Because you don't dare not. There's that's the whole thing. The Bible says, you do it this way, you go to hell and you get burned forever. You do it this other way, you go to heaven. Do you get to stay there? And like regardless of how you behave or, whether or not you go along with every last crazy thing Yahweh requires of you, or, is it going to be eternal threat of going to eternal torture?
Well, no,
we're not there yet, but yes.
He would just make you a robot at that point, so you wouldn't have the will to do anything else but tell him how great he is. Because free will wasn't all that important anyway.
Yeah. Free will was just to give us a chance down here. To learn what it's like to be able to make up our own mind about things, so that we can spend eternity realizing that we don't have that anymore.
And free will is a modern term. I don't think free will is used anywhere in the Bible.
No, they didn't. They weren't up to date.
No, it's a concept that people have made up to excuse certain contradictions in their religious concept. It's like, well, God can't do that without violating free will. It's not that he can't do it at all. He can't do it without violating free will, and God really doesn't want to violate free will. That's why God makes all kinds of things happen to us that we don't want to have happen to us. That's why God, had Jonah be swallowed by a sea monster, and because Jonah chose that.
Fish. I was waiting for you to say whale just so I could correct you, but
Dak,
the joke worked anyway.
You're not God, so it's about His will. You can't conflict the two, Dak.
Yeah. We get free will as long as it's God's will, and
as
if
long
it's
as
not,
exactly what He wants, then
He'll correct it.
And okay,
but all of us who would like to believe in God and beg Him to, give us the whatever means, He can to let us see that He's real. All of us that want to believe the truth and think are begging any God out there, if there really is a God, like, please show yourself so that I can believe the truth. Because if I'm wrong and in thinking there isn't a God, I don't want to continue to be wrong. According to the people who fall for this stuff, we're all choosing of our own free will to reject their God who has never shown himself in any way.
Pascal's wager, Dak. Pascal's wager.
And hey,
Thinking about
and if you've just joined us, we are on
Yes, Pascal's
chapter
wager.
20.
Pascal's wager. Roll a multi-thousand-sided dice and pick a God that rolls up on top.
And so if you've just joined us, we're
either Yahweh or
moving
nothing.
through
That's
the book
the
of
choice.
Genesis.
Yahweh or
chapter-
nothing.
Yeah, Yahweh or one of those other thousands of gods or nothing.
Peradventure.
I agree.
Yahweh or the Highway.
Adventure. All right, so we've come to the meat of our story of barbecuing Isaac. God tells Abraham to kill his son Isaac.
Now something's about to actually happen. So
Yeah, we're getting juicy. And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham. And he said, Behold, here I am. Why do I have to say this? I don't know. And he said, Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest. Oh yeah, I know you love him. Yeah, guess what's coming? And get thee into the land of Mordor.
this
and
is just so
offer
poetic.
him- I know. This is so messed up.
So
I feel like
over the
that's-
top.
Yeah, a drama queen once again. And offer him there for a burnt offering once again. Let me go back into my poetic voice. And offer
Bring
him
the
there.
charcoal. Bring
I
the
know.
charcoal.
But what the hell?
Charcoal.
Burnt offerings? Why are we doing? This is like a slavery reminder. Why does he like the smell of blood? Why does he like sacrifices so much? What the hell? Also, it is Yahweh or the highway. Just as
His
a reminder.
his love of burnt sacrifices is irreducibly complex. So it's just there.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's Yahweh
indeed.
or the highway, huh?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it seems. And offer him therefore a burnt offering upon one of the mountains, which I will tell thee of. So God tempted
But not
Abraham.
telling you now, but it's one of those mountains. I'll tell you later.
One of those. Yeah, I'll tell you later. Take your son, your only son Isaac, your only son, the only one. So it's not like you have, I don't know why it would be any better or worse if you had 16, but God is really making a point here to be like,
And you love him. You
I got
really
one.
love your son.
I
If it was
love
16, it'd be
him.
more work. You'd have to burn a lot more children.
Exactly.
Well, that would be fine for God. He wouldn't mind. It doesn't hurt him.
And all right, so
Yeah,
Abraham. What's that?
Oh, he's sick. This God. Yeah, this is really bad.
It really is pretty sick. I mean, I'm imagining Abraham is now putting on his chef gloves and his apron right now. Abraham
Maybe he's putting
prepares.
like some salt and pepper on Isaac, seasoning him up.
And you know the
Seasoning up.
great thing about that, James, we have a whole bunch of salt left over from the
Oh,
past
yeah.
life. So
Yeah.
From Lot's wife.
use a pinch of salt.
Yeah, they had more than they could use within their lifetime, so yeah, why not, huh?
Take her thumb. That ought to be enough for Isaac.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the one good thing Lot could say about his wife. She was worth her weight in salt.
But
She was
All
a
right,
pillar
Doc.
to the community.
up.
She was, yes.
I will say,
Yes, she was the remaining pillar of the community.
you pull your weight, Donald, with every joke that you say. I will give you every dud-up chump that you earn. I will give you every.
He's
I wish
worth
I
his
had. You're worth your weight in salt from that. I will say just on that alone.
Yeah. So if I get turned into a pillar of salt, you're saying it's my fault, right?
Well, Yahweh doesn't like
Would it
salt.
be-
I don't know.
would it
We'd
be
start
iodized
talking
salt?
back.
Iodized salt or regular
Yeah.
salt?
Yeah, you hear that, Yahweh? If you're going to turn me into a pillar of salt, make sure it's iodized. You know, it's healthier that way. Like I'm going to be healthier when I'm dead.
Dust you were made, and from dust you will return.
Yeah, to dust you are made, and from dust you will return. Exactly. I like the order you put that in.
Or the scientifically illiterate theist might say, not so.
Not so. Not so.
Yeah.
Well,
And
then
okay.
they would run in
Or
right
the
here and
just
say,
plain
well,
illiterate theist.
God wasn't going to make
they'd
him
say it
kill
4
his
times.
son. He's just testing him.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to love that circular reasoning of, well, how do you know that's true? Well, because God said so. Well, how do you know God said so? Well, because God's word said so. It's like, what do you mean God's word said so? Well, the Bible said so. Well, how do you know the Bible said so? Well, because God said it did.
Yeah.
Because they haven't read the Bible. It's like, well, how do you know God said the Bible said so? Well, because my preacher said God said the Bible said
Oh,
so.
boy.
And okay, foreskin. Abraham
It's like,
prepares
how do you know
to
your
kill
preacher
his-
said that? Well, because some other Christian said that my preacher said that God said the Bible said that God said so.
Oh, boy.
And no, Robert, if you got a question, feel free to tag me, and we'll get it up
What's
here.
that? What's the skull and crossbones? Is that?
I threw a link in chat by the way, in the not the outside chat, the inside chat. I threw a link in there to the Wikipedia page for a list of goddesses.
Woohoo! Hey, I tend to say, I've almost retrained myself. I say, "Oh my goddess" now, just because I think it's funnier. Or
What's
better.
that?
Yeah.
What's that skull and crossbones? The flag over there.
Yeah. Take that list and take that list and bring it into a
Cruelty?
take that list and bring it into a line randomizer and on the internet and just stick it in some random order and then whenever somebody asks you if you believe in God, say which one and start reading the list.
Well, they do hate the which one question seems to drive them crazy.
Because there's a lot of goddesses in that list.
Oh, yeah.
And okay, Abraham prepares to kill his son for God, as you do. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, you can't expect him to kill his son for God without preparing first, can you?
No,
Gotta
and
saddle your ass.
No, exactly. Nor would I prepare to kill your son for God without saddling your ass. I feel like that just comes with the territory. And okay, I'm going to read that line again.
Yes,
and
you have to wear that ass saddle.
Damn straight. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled that ass and took 2 of his young men with him. Damn straight, baby. I'm basically rocking back and forth. While I'm
2
saying
young
that now.
men.
And
Young
Isaac, ooh, I know. That's funny how they point that out. So he saddled his ass, got with his young men, and took Isaac, his son, with the clav of wood for their burnt offerings. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish I was only half making this up. This is basically, I'm only paraphrasing here.
Isaac at this point doesn't know that he's on the menu.
In fact, let me reread this. And Abraham rose up early, saddled his ass, took young men and his son, got wood for the offering that rose up, and he went into the place with God to tell him. Yeah, there we go. I should have ended it on rose up because I saw the words rose up and ooh, baby, just wood and rising up. They're bringing these jokes on me.
I'm surprised that didn't get mistranslated.
Yeah.
It might have. How do we know? Maybe there was maybe some scribe was a little distracted and he's just
Gonna put some clever
copying
puns in
stuff,
here.
copy stuff down, and the next thing you know, he's got a mention of wood rising up.
That's true. Maybe he was writing this chapter with one hand. You never know what those scribes were doing. You never know.
Yeah. You know how the Catholic Church is. It's like, all right, altar boy, you're distracting me now. I just wrote something wrong.
Oh boy, yeah, biblical morality again.
More communion wine, more wine,
Yeah.
more blood.
More wine without the whining. Yeah.
Peradventure.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh,
And
what was that episode? There's a Dark Matter 2525 cartoon where Jesus actually accidentally turns Yahweh's laundry water into wine. As his clothes are in the washing machine.
Oh no, that was an episode of Cheers. No, I'm just fucking with you. Okay, and what were we in? Then on the third day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, wink, wink, abide ye here with the ass. Oh, baby. And I and the lad will go yonder and worship and come again to you. Oh, my. This whole paragraph is just getting better and better.
Very risque
Randolph wants to... What do you want to share with us? Oh, my. Yeah, that. Now, Randolph, we can't just show all Catholicism at once. But
okay.
I love you, Catholics. I love you and love all
I'm
forms
not
of
quite sure.
Christianity.
I'm not quite sure how to break that apart.
Indeed. Or a lawyer. Then I'm okay. And we're reading, and we got through wood and young men, and Isaac spoke
Bring the
on-
Bible back up on screen.
Oh yes, that's right. That's
Whoops.
always a good thing,
I guess
right?
it's my fault. Sorry.
Oh,
No, it's
you're
fine.
Babadoo.
She just has to reshare it.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go. And Isaac spak. I don't know why he spak unto Abram his father, but he spak unto Abram his father and said, "My father." Once again, whole sentence of redundancy.
This is so poetic.
So redundantly redundant to
Over the
redundant my
top.
sentence redundantly. And he said, "Here I am." Yeah, over the top.
Yeah,
Here I am.
Here I am,
The
my son.
hurricane.
My son. And he said, "Behold, the fire and my wood." Written like that, I'm going to say. But where is the lamb for a burnt offering? Come on. I mean, you're just going to give me your son? You're not going to give me my normal slaughtering of a lamb? Come on.
So shouldn't Abraham at least be honest with his son at this point if he really thinks God's telling him to kill him and say, "You're the offering"?
I would have thought so. I mean, gee whiz, it's like, at the very least, if the kid's gonna die, and he believes that, like, there's a God out there and an afterlife and stuff, it might be time to explain this stuff to the kid and tell him, look, you might want to prepare for this because there's this other life coming, and you're about to find out what it's like.
And now God says, "I have to kill you."
And
I don't know how you prepare a kid for this.
yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Well,
I mean-
it depends on, what you actually believe that this is. But, I mean, if you honestly believe that you're sending your kid to an eternal afterlife and he's got, like, his last chance to decide what that eternal afterlife is going to be like, you might want to give him a clue before you.
Well, this was before that.
Send him on his
rose up
way.
in the theology, so they weren't
Yeah.
thinking about it. Yeah.
Well,
'Cause
but not according to
the afterlife
Christians
hadn't-
because... But not according to Christians, because according to Christians, the Old Testament is full of Jesus mentions. They just never call him Jesus.
Of course, yeah.
And of course, the
silly.
fact that they prophesied that he would be named something other than Jesus, which he was never named or called during his lifetime, that minor technicality. I mean, the fact that he was prophesied that he was going to have a name that didn't even resemble Jesus and couldn't by any means be transliterated into Jesus. It's like, that's
They'll
not
say,
a problem.
well, Jesus
it was
Greek.
Jesus.
It's just a Greek version of it.
Yeah, Emmanuel, Jesus, same thing, right?
Yahweh, I am that I am. El Shaddai, whatever.
Yeah, all those names. Jealous. That's my favorite one of his names. We haven't gotten to that
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah, Jesus' name is Jealous. That's where the J
Right,
came from, you know.
The Lord of
I mean,
hosts,
he
the
says
God most
he just
high,
likes-
the Lord most high.
It's like an acronym, you know. They know what the first letter stands for. Jealous.
And no, he actually says, "My name is Jealous."
Yeah, I
when he's
know.
talking to Moses.
Holy
And
cow!
Yeah, I know.
Huh.
Some ridiculous stuff.
And okay,
Yeah,
he's
it-
packing. Let's get
Just-
back to
Just
packing.
relabel the Bible
Paraben-
as the name game, because you know, really.
the name game.
It's a
My-
soap opera.
It really is a soap opera, which is kind of crazy.
And
The crazy.
It's just as
Yes.
trashy as the
Yes.
ones on daytime television.
And it is a very dirty soap opera.
But it's not even as well written as those.
It needs more soap and less opera.
It's
And I'm
just
so
too over
always-
the top. It's not believable. The dialogue is just, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm always surprised by
Ah.
just how Yahweh is an actual character in the story. He's just such. He's not some nebulous deistic thing. Yahweh
No.
is taking names and kicking ass.
He's talking to people, telling them, giving them, micromanaging what they're doing, giving them orders.
Yeah. And
He's not
okay.
just off to the side letting shit happen.
I
Yeah,
found
so-
it.
What'd you
I found
find?
it here. I'm typing it into the chat right now.
Okay, well, you type. I'm
There.
going to get one more.
There it is.
Okay, like typing a link?
That's
Okay.
yeah. That's the episode I was talking about where Jesus accidentally turns Yahweh's laundry water into wine
Where is it?
inside of the washing machine.
No, where'd you post it?
In the live chat.
Oh, in the room. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
seeing
I could put it in the other chat too, but I'd have to manually type it on my telephone's
No, don't do
touchscreen
that.
keyboard to do that.
We might lose you.
And that's okay. So we're going back.
I did type that other one into there. The list of goddesses.
Okay. Well, then
So-
check out the list of goddesses link.
We are
Set
on
in
what
chat.
number
Should I-
8?
We're
should I
on
put that-
number 8.
8.
And
Should I have
Abram
put that
said-
one in here as well? I wonder.
That works too. And Abram said, "My son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering." Once again, back to burnt offerings. So,
So,
they
Dad,
went
you're
both
not going
of
to
them
kill me,
together.
are you? No, I'm not going to kill you.
Yeah, yeah.
And they
Yeah.
came to the place which God had told him of. And Abraham built an altar there. Ooh, he built an altar. And laid the wood in order and bound Isaac his son. I mean, how old is Isaac
Dad-
in this? Did Isaac have
Yeah.
This is
It's
not
like-
going the way I planned, Dad.
Yeah, the
Dad.
kid's like, Dad. The kid's like, Dad. What are the sharp objects for? And why are you strapping me down? And his dad's like, oh, don't worry. I'm not doing anything to please that imaginary friend of mine. It's just a little S&M we're getting ready for here.
Is this going to be like when you cut the thing off by PP?
Yeah, 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 yeah. What parts are you going to be cutting off of me this time, Dad?
Oh boy.
And laid to wood and bound Isaac his son. And I guess if I was Isaac, I'd be crying or fighting for my life at this point. And laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son.
Now I've heard Christian apologists excuse this and say, "Oh, it's okay. Isaac wasn't a young child. He was in his 30s."
What?
Oh,
How
well,
does
that
that
makes
make
it
it
so much better, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, Amy. You're in
you
your
know,
30s. So how would you feel?
I guess it's a matter of perspective. I mean, you know, because if you think about it, when it comes to circumcision, they're like, well, at least he wasn't in his 30s.
Oh.
Hey,
They can't.
I'm all.
They don't use anesthetic on the babies, you know.
Yeah, but it's like he probably won't remember the trauma because he was kind of young then, as opposed to like being in his 50s and that happened 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Angel to the rescue. You have to wonder if if Yahweh sent the angel, or if the angel just interceded on their own, just because. Hey,
I also want to know what the whole point of this. Wasn't this dude already loyal to Yahweh?
Ah.
How loyal do you have to be?
So
this
loyal
mob
that
boss-
you'll kill your son, apparently.
Yeah, I put Wikipedia's list of goddesses in the live chat, so it's there now.
Woohoo!
Add
Oh.
Amy Newman to the list, because
Posted it in the YouTube
according
chat.
to her, the devil worships her.
See, I can't take credit for that joke. It was a Facebook meme, but I love it. I think I posted it too. We could say either the right Antangelo or the wrong Antangelo.
Well, if there's a reference to it out on the internet, anybody could put it on the add it to the Wikipedia page and include the reference to it.
It was just a joke. It was
I'm just saying.
I don't worship the devil. The devil worships me.
Yeah, I'm just saying though. It's a non. How would you put it? It's not a complete list. It doesn't have all of them in there. So, and it's made by the people. So like I said, if anybody, basically anybody other than yourself, can go in and add that reference and put the link to it and be one more name in the list. Now the way the page is set up, that one has them by category, so you'd have to pick a category to put it in, and I think that would probably have to be supported by the reference you gave. So it's not it's not without rules, but yeah, probably could be done.
Okay, check out the list that Donald sent, and we are going to be saved by an angel. We're moving along here, and so
on Twitter, by the way, there is somebody who goes by Feed 'em to Bear, the atheist goddess.
Okay, hey, we'll take atheist.
Touched by an angel.
Touched by an angel, and so we have some good old family values. We have some destruction, cruelty and violence. We have injustice, contradictions, and our fantastic absurdity. So, of course,
contradicting absurd injustice. Yeah, that's it. Contradicting absurd injustices.
And remember, the Bible never, ever contradicts itself.
Never.
Anyway.
Not one place.
Yeah. It's true. The Bible never contradicted itself. The people who wrote it did that.
Oh, and Randolph, this is my plug for Donald. Donald just did an awesome debate against Kent Hovind on Modern Day Debate. And
wow.
So it was
congratulations.
Awesome time.
Yeah, and Wednesday we'll be going over that in detail, and Aaron Ra is going to be here with us.
You can relive all the Kent Hovind squirming.
Exactly.
Wow. So
that's fantastic.
We'll be able to have both me and Aaron correcting Kent Hovind and Aaron correcting me.
Okay.
And I'll have popcorn.
Aaron can do his Kent Hovind voice. He does a really good one.
Really?
Donald, how do you think the debate went?
He does the best Kent Hovind.
How do I think what?
How do you think the debate went?
Exactly like I expected it to. Actually, not nearly enough time to go over everything I had prepared for it, which didn't take me long to prepare at all. Probably took me a shorter time to prepare it than I actually had to present it. And Kent avoided debating at all or answering anyone's question at all. All he did was preach.
Yeah, it was
He
mainly
just
a sermon.
he just used everything as a segue into the next part of his sermon.
His talking points, and that was about it.
It was very much like a presuppositionalist kind of.
I mean, if you've watched one of his sermons, you've seen his side of the debate.
Yeah,
You know,
'cause he always says
minus the segues. I mean, that's all he did. He just used everything as a segue into the next part of his sermon. It's the same sermon he always does. And so and he pulled as usual, during the debate, saying that he will debate me again, and then afterward, basically saying no, he won't.
Yeah, he never turns down a challenge on
public,
video.
yeah.
But yeah. But when
And
you try to set it up, it never happens.
Yeah, but the email they sent didn't say that he'll never debate me. It said he won't be scheduling a debate with me at this time. So because well,
reasons.
Yeah, reasons. So
he's meeting with his tax lawyer.
And I see you guys. Just 1 second, Doc. I feel bad because I don't want to. I know I'm the host, and so I want everyone to feel like they can say their piece because I know I could blab on, and I know sometimes I may even do it to myself because I get so. Once I get an idea in my head, I get so energetic that that I just pop and want to say it. But we have strong voices, so I understand that.
Sorry if I'm talking over you. I guess I guess this is in response to Antjer's comment, right?
Yes. How dare you, Randolph? You are such. We need to get a
Randolph shouting everybody down. No one could get a word.
So Amy, you're basically saying that. So Amy, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you're basically saying that if you're ever short on energy, all you have to do is get an idea in your head. Problem solved.
That is exactly what I'm saying.
And does the audience think that Oz has been doing the most interrupting?
Yeah, they want Oz to shut. Gosh damn it, Oz! Could you just know? I love Oz. He's
yes, and I don't interrupt at all except when I do.
See, Oz is. Oz
do they want to hear from somebody? Or
no, I think they're just joking. Oz is here to remind all the Christians. I guess my shtick is the body. He's here to say, listen, prove Jesus ain't a myth, and then come to the table.
I love it. I love the myth hypothesis.
Well, and honestly, I like that we have. It's a more strong
I wonder how many of his disciples said that, at that Last Supper, prove Jesus isn't a myth and then come to the table.
I have always wanted to do a parodied version of that, just like they do, I think, in The Life of Brian. I love that kind of stuff where it's like super serious and yet they're kind of like parodying it at the same time. I miss movies like that.
Oh yeah, The Life of Brian. That's a classic. Anybody who hasn't seen The Life of Brian really should look it up and watch it.
Oh, that one was good. Yeah, I recommend it.
And okay, so where were we? Did an angel's coming down?
Well, I was here.
That's always. I always say always when you're a bonus when we're above ground. Always a bonus. And he said,
yes.
Lay not thine hand upon the lad.
I am way above ground.
See, always a bonus.
Peradventure.
Neither do thou anything unto him, for now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me. So, once again, we have the football being pulled. God's just like, psych! And coming down at the last second. Why God had to send an angel and not do it himself, we'll never know, but okay. What do you think, guys? This is the big thing where angel rescued. Okay, and Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold him, a Dodge Ram. caught in a thicket by his horse.
Yeah,
And
Abraham's like this, like, look what I've got.
I was gonna give you my son.
And Abraham said, "Wait, why do we have to kill
lift
this ram anyway?"
Lifted up his eyes, look what I've got.
Looked up and beheld arms, and offered him for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. Oh, good. At least we're still having a sacrifice. We can't just walk away
Something's
without.
got to die.
Something's got to die. Oh my! They're fooling with me again. A second.
Yeah, because if Abraham doesn't kill his son there, God's gonna have to kill his own son to make up for it someday. I mean, you got to see that coming, right?
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
And Abraham called the name of the place Jehovah, Awesomeness Town, Forever Loves Adventureland. And it is said to this day, in the mount of the Lord it shall be seen.
It is.
And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham out of the heaven the second time. Ooh, what's
Whatever
this?
that means, we don't know.
We got we have a new one. Let's see what we got here. Prophecy. Oh boy.
False prophecy.
God blesses Abraham for his willingness to kill his son. Also, I could see where the slow burn to human sacrifice comes from. I mean, we're only in Genesis.
I have a prophecy.
Okay.
Someone is going to call this a false prophecy.
It's like a post prophecy. Pre prophecy.
You just wait. That one will come true.
When exactly? When exactly? Oh, we don't go there, do we?
It's a false prophecy. There, it came true.
I am going to order a pizza, and I'm going to prophesize it'll be here in 30 minutes or less, or my money back.
A romantic pizza?
A romantic pizza.
Did you see the pizza in the live chat, by the way?
There's a pizza in the live
I
chat?
did see reference to one.
I just want pizza now. You're making me hungry.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Robert X asked, what did the Romans ever do for us? I said they gave us romance. He says I'd go for pizza. I said yeah, romantic pizza, very Roman.
Except it's Yahweh's Pizzeria, so the topping is foreskin.
Foreskin popcorn.
Foreskin popcorn. We only serve the best here at Yahweh's Pizzeria.
It's foreskin popcorn pizza.
No, it's specially cooked in the lake of fire, so it's extra hot, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Like this pizza picture.
It's not spicy at all, but it's extra hot.
Yeah. Cooked over the lake of fire. That sounds fantastic.
Charcoal foreskin pizza.
No, it's propane and propane accessories.
Charcoal foreskin popcorn pizza.
That's blasphemy. Has to be propane.
Propane accessories. Okay, here we go. I'll add this.
Some people can't afford propane. They got to settle for amateur.
Oh.
I know that was painful, wasn't it? That was like painful. Yeah, there you go.
All right,
romantic. That was a very romantic pizza.
We're gonna bring
God's hands, Robert.
We're gonna bring that prophecy true, or God's.
Robert is prophesying that your next stream will be awesome again. I guess that means it's going to be awesome. Your next stream will be awesome more than once.
Sing it, Amy. He's got the whole world in his hands.
Yeah.
Or Jesus loves me.
Had to let my kitty cat out, and that sounds good. I will have it all in my hands.
Yeah, that's supposedly that's where earthquakes come from.
Well, no, earthquakes come from me being bisexual. Specifically, that's where they come
Oh,
from.
yeah. Well, that's because because Yahweh kind of gets off on it, and once in a while he's got to change hands.
And okay, so
Can't he use his feet? Or is
That
he not
too.
that flexible?
Does he have feet?
Yeah, he does.
Oh.
Yeah, it's amazing the number of body parts that supposedly non-corporeal being has. There's a bunch of them listed in the Bible.
He's irreducibly complex.
aren't we all?
Yes,
Not
yes,
really.
irreducibly
No.
simplex.
Okay, God blesses Abraham for his willingness to kill his son.
Woohoo!
And said, by myself have I sworn, saith the Lord, because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son. I imagine him holding up a skull when he says that.
And now I provide the meth.
Yeah, now we give you tons of drugs. Okay, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven. Don't take it. He's made this promise before. He drowned them.
Yeah.
And the sand which upon the seashore, and thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in thy seed, And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. You were such a good father that you were going to kill your son for the voice in your head, but now I'm going to have you multiply. So Abraham returned unto his young men. I'm going to read that twice. So Abraham returned unto his young men. So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beer
He came
Land.
to them again.
Yes, he came to them over and over again, and they went to Beer Land, and Abraham dwelt at Beer Land. And it came to pass after these things that it was told, Abraham said, Behold, Milichi, she hath also borne children unto thy brother Nahor. Has his firstborn?
Wasn't that the first commandment that God gave to Adam? Behold, because I mean, he had to blow the air into him somewhere, right? And if he didn't have any holes, how's he going to do that?
I'm not sure. Did you just say the words blowholes?
No, I said behold, as in
behold. Okay, my brain.
as in, like have some holes, Adam, because
holes.
How's he going to blow Adam without any holes?
I don't know.
I mean,
I get asked that question often.
That was what the Bible says that Yahweh did to Adam, right? He,
I don't know.
Blew the breath of life into him, so.
Hey, did God even get consent from Adam to take one of his ribs?
No, I think he put him to sleep.
Yeah, probably not.
That
yeah, I love the way Dark Matter 25 depicts that, where God's like, oh, don't worry, I'll put him to sleep first. So he puts him to sleep, and then he kicks him to wake him up, and then rips a rib out of him.
Oh. That sounds like
So we were on 19? No, 20. We're coming down.
I love my baby back ribs.
Baby back. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham. Oh no, he said that. Say, behold, Milichi, or whatever, and she hath also borne children, and whatever, I'm so sorry, unto thy brother Nahor, his firstborn, and Buz, his brother, and Buz, and Kemel, the father of Aram, and
where was Woody?
I don't know. I know Woody and Buzz, and Sid is definitely the Yahweh, and Hazo, and Fildish, and Jildif, and Bethel, and we're back in exposition mode. And Bethel begat Rebekah. There we go, having some drinking. These 8 Milch did bear to Nahor, Abraham's brother, and his concubine. whose name was Rima. She bare also Tiba and Lindsey Graham. I'm just kidding. I love you, Lindsay. And Jam and Tabish and Macheth.
Wait, Cabbage? They had somebody in there named Cabbage?
Apparently, we had
Maybe
some
they came
Cabbage
from the
Patch Kids.
VeggieTales.
Yeah.
So that's
I'm
where that
traveling.
lineage. So that's where that lineage came from. That was all descendants of Cabbage. And here I thought it was just Brussels sprouts and cauliflower and stuff like that.
But no broccoli, even though Kent Hovind insists there's broccoli in there.
Yeah, that it wasn't man-made.
Broccoli wasn't the Cabbage Patch. Wasn't one of the Cabbage Patch Kids.
Oh, sorry, I thought we were talking about the VeggieTales.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, close enough.
Sarah dies. Ooh.
And okay,
Yeah.
I think we will
It was so funny. It was so funny. How Kent's trying to use the descendants of Brassica Auracea as an argument against me when I taught him what that was in the first place.
Wow. Oh, there's so much to know in this.
Like, yeah, I'm not going to be ready for the thing that I taught you. You got me there.
And
He
Oz,
wasn't prepared for that.
Oz, if you dropped off, thank you for being on. Awesome as ever. And also, I'm going to shout out 2 different things. Don't forget to check out tart.live, which I'm actually going to throw out there, the Atheist Roundtable. If you're an atheist looking out there for any support, a great channel. And on February 20th, they are running a Newbies Come One, Come All channel. Just got to sign up and give them a heads up. But they're here to promote newbie atheists and cross-pollinate, which is my new favorite word. So
that's on the 20th, right?
Already live February 20th.
We'll be there.
Yeah, I'm going to be part of that.
Wait a minute.
Oh, nice. Be there, be square.
Wait a minute.
Square. One of those. Wait, I'm getting okay. I'll wait 2 minutes. 1 minute.
I know they call it a tree, but once they made a cross out of it, isn't it a little late to be pollinating it?
Sure.
I mean, is that really going to work? Are we going to get, might have saved the Romans a lot of trouble if they could really, just plant cross seeds and grow them, I suppose. But I don't think that's what cross-pollination means.
I don't think so. And okay, so
I know you did, and you didn't say it did either.
And so we have made it through the bulk of our barbecuing adventure. I think we're going to go through another chapter because we're having so much fun, and it looks like we're about to have a funeral. And so I thought you were about to laugh, though that would have been funny too.
I'm sorry. I couldn't yet reach the mute button in time to stop my cough.
No, that would have actually been funny. You're perfectly fine.
I couldn't either.
With you.
Sarah lived longer than anyone in the Bible. Wow. Look at that, 127 years. The men are living to be 900, but...
That's true. The men were living to bicentennial years, but at least Sarah, she gets a good 127. You know what?
Maybe the women were living longer. They just never bothered to tell us how long any of them lived.
Yes, or give us any details about their lives.
I mean, what detail would you need other than the fact that they begat kids, I guess?
They were, yeah, exactly. And okay, so now I guarantee you, Isaac has been sweating bullets at this point. And let me tell you, if my dad was about to kill me, I think at that point I'd be like, you know what? I think this whole religion shtick, I think I'm going to leave it to my parents, and I think I'm going to leave. I don't know. What about you guys? If your dad was about to kill you, would you come back the next day and for dinner?
Praise Jesus.
Yes, after he kills me.
Son,
I'd be like, I'm gonna haunt you for this. You know that, right?
God told me to do it. I mean, he told me to kill you. I didn't have a choice.
That's why. That's exactly why. If somebody's believing God told them to kill you, threatening to haunt them is actually, believable.
It's a good counter.
It's
And
a good
sure,
counter, yeah. You
and
don't have
I
to believe it yourself. Just know that they probably will.
And Andrew, I not only should I provide more links, I feel like we should do even more debate reviews and debate commentaries because there's a few.
Absolutely.
We've only done like one or two, so more to
We
come.
can do, yeah. There's definitely more
I
to
put
do.
I put a playlist. I put a
free-
playlist link in the live chat, but I don't think it. I don't think the link worked.
Are you make
you're
sure
free-
you're on your right account that's the mod account, or it won't send the links.
Okay. Yeah, that would. Yeah, I don't think I am on that one. That's
Randolph's
my eminent
Randolph's
reflection
trying to
one.
Get in here.
Yeah, so I'm,
Amy, if you're looking for debates to review, you're free to anything on my channel. Take it and review it. Any of the debates I've been in.
Thank you,
Sure.
Randolph. That was
Randolph.
very nice of you.
you should come on and
Okay.
do it with us. We'll do I call
Yeah,
them commentary.
we would love
I'd
to
be
do
happy
it.
I'd be
Woohoo.
happy to.
Then
Just
we'll get
Randolph's
So-
some good debates.
Yeah, I love
Control L,
Randolph.
Control C, tab over here. Control L, Control V, enter.
and I'll
Getting
say, you've probably been told this before, but your strongest asset is that you're such a friggin' sweetheart, and that it's so hard for theists to take swings at you. I think because they have to actually go for ideas. They can't just sit there and ad hominem you all day,
They
Ooh.
can
That doesn't
try,
work.
but it's not effective.
or they can
Yeah, it doesn't
try,
work.
but it's not
That-
effective. Exactly.
I don't care if they want to insult me. I see it as a concession. So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, same wavelength
Well-
right there.
Well, that's what Kent started with in my debate with him. Right off the bat, he was trying to find something he could ad hominem me with, and he conceded the debate in his opening statement.
Well, the first thing he wanted to make sure he did was to dox you. That's
he
important.
didn't say he concedes though
Yes.
in those words, did he?
No, he didn't use those words. The debate topic was is evolution ubiquitous? My position was yes, and in his opening statement, he conceded that microevolution is ubiquitous, which is about the equivalent to if you're having a debate like as to whether or not there are cars on the roads, and he said, well, there are Ford Pintos all over the roads.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole micro macro thing is a bunch of nonsense. It's just
It's just
people
different
don't
time
understand
scales.
how it works.
It's a
Well, I mean,
PR.
microevolution is it's a subset of evolution. It's not a subset with a clear cutoff point, but it's a subset.
Right.
And
Sure.
so he said, basically he essentially said a subset of evolution is ubiquitous in a debate where the question was, is evolution ubiquitous?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so if he's going to reject macroevolution, he's got to indicate, he's going to have to explain how that doesn't work. And you get enough time, and
Yep.
micro looks like macro. It's just
He just says,
Yeah,
"Oh,
so
God
I-
put
so
limits
I
in
offered-
there."
So I offered him several possible debate topics to pick from, and the first one on the list was, is microevolution evolution? And I got a letter back from his secretary saying he won't be scheduling a debate with me
Well,
after he said he would.
I will say I contacted Kent Hoven's tech guy.
Yeah,
so
Kant. That's
they
close,
now need
close
to
enough. Kant. Kant. Yeah.
they need to give me.
are you
Inmate
being
number.
to Emmanuel Kant here?
Or KAN''T.
Oh,
Kant.
okay.
I refers to him by his inmate number.
Yeah,
Yeah,
punctuation is important. Oxford comma and everything.
And
Yes,
okay,
yeah. He does
so-
get called by that inmate number an awful lot.
Oh, really? What's his number?
It's like
Uh,
026 2014. I don't remember his inmate.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I can't think of it off the top of my head. You
We
can
need to
probably
make a song.
Google. You can
We're gonna-
probably Google Kent Hoven's
Oh,
inmate
no.
number and get it.
We need to make a.
It'll
we
come
need to
up.
we need to make a parody song here. Hove, and we've got your number.
Yeah.
And I will say the doxing thing annoys me so much. I know there's going to be one day that someone brings up my whatever the dead name or the old thing with the trans and starts with that thing, and I know they're going to do the exact same thing as what they did to you, and my answer will be the same that I think you gave, which is, all right, that's cool, go yourself, and then just keep on rolling.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't. You know, I don't use that anymore. That name anymore. It's extremely rare anybody calls me by it. I'll recognize it if they do, but you know, I don't consider it my name anymore. It hasn't been in a very long time. But you know, there are also, you know, like 30 some different nicknames that I will still recognize. Generally, if somebody uses one of them, one of them might catch me off guard. But you know, I've been called a lot of things. So.
Look,
my very first nickname was actually a 3-part nickname with a first name, middle name, and last name.
Wow.
It was Cirrus Stratus Nimbus, and this was in early grade school because I had read all of my dad's college books while I was still in the crib. I was pretty well educated for my age, and I was able to give weather reports, you know, weather forecasts better than the news reporters on television. Just by looking out the window and measuring the direction the clouds were going in 2 perpendicular directions and getting an idea which clouds were heading toward us.
Better than speed of sound, his weather reports.
Yeah, and shout out to Speed of Sound. I watched a little.
I've been on his weather report a few times.
I'm gonna start going over there. I was too tired to do it today, but I did it yesterday. The first time, and then I passed out on James.
Were you just in the chat, or
no? I went on last night. That's why I was so tired. I was on the channel for 2 hours. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I was in there too.
And
in that same one.
Yeah, and he has a good crew over there. And okay, guys, let's get through. We're past hour 2 now, so to me that means that we're wrapping it up. Though if anyone would still like to join us, the links are in chat. Feel free to come by.
Okay, where was that?
Skeptic crew. And I love this title.
And
Sarah
then she dies.
Yeah.
She began, and now it's time to die.
I'm looking for that link to that list of goddesses again so I can repaste that in with the other account because, you know.
Oh, I thought I already pasted it into the YouTube chat.
Oh, did you? The list of goddesses?
Yeah, I did that earlier.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll leave that one. I just did paste in the Dark Matter 2525. The link to his playlist, Power Corrupts. I had pasted in earlier that other one. Was it Trading Fairy Tales? And I don't think I've got that up anymore.
And Randolph, the link might have not gone through because you're not a mod, but you have been a host. You have been my debate partner. So just like Robert, I'd love to offer you. Would you like to be a mod?
Sure.
All right.
Because then I can post that again and then it'll show up.
Absolutely.
I had a little drama because I don't know. In fact, I want to clear the name now. I'll say it on here because I'll put theology aside. There's been a bunch of claims, praise, Jamie, Smokey. The Christians seem to be fighting. I don't know if that blue hen person is an atheist, but they're calling
or just a troll,
people, or if they're just a troll. But it's the anti-Semitic claim has been going around. I don't want actual anti-Semitic people at my channel. None of those 3 I was talking about, but I want more mods in here. So more mods. Hopefully that will solve the problem. If anyone sees anything, report it to them. And yeah, okay.
Yeah, I got Trading Fairy Tales in there too. If anybody wants to see. Yeah, that's the episode where Jesus turns God's laundry water into wine, accidentally in the washing machine.
We'll take it.
Socks keep disappearing.
Yeah,
so we got all sorts of things.
Yeah. Where are my white socks? It's like you're wearing them. No, these are my red socks.
That's blame Mr. Batman for the socks.
And you know another thing? In fact, I would instead like to invite an invitation. Mr. Batman, Smokey, Praise, Maddox, SJ. I'm trying to think of more Theus. On
Tangelo, Nephilim Free.
Nephilim Free. We want you on our channel. So actually come here. I won't mute. No muting. No nothing. Come on down. And
can you see this?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
That's Yahweh in the shower after the water turned to wine.
Oh, that's funny.
And there's Jesus in the laundry room.
Woohoo!
This looks like
3 hours later, Jesus coming in to get his laundry. And I don't want to give any big spoilers, so I'm going to stop with that. Now, people can go watch the rest for themselves if they want to see it.
Is that 2525?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It definitely is.
Yeah, the way the characters move, I feel like it is. So.
Yeah, his cartoon style has evolved a lot over the years, by the way. And for the most part, I actually like his older cartoons better. But that's, I think, because of the fact that he concentrated more on the humor aspect and stuff like that, and less on the graphic arts aspect of it. And they are a lot of work, no matter how you do it. It's a heck of a lot of work. So you spread yourself thin regardless. But he does still make some hilarious ones once in a while, and he also makes some that are quite serious and get into a subject pretty deeply. So it's a nice variety, and I have yet to see any video from the guy on either of his channels that I didn't like. So, that I didn't think was worth the time to watch.
Don't worry, Donald. You can get all of your humor fix right here. Right? And
my humor needs fixed more than that.
The only prescription is Amy Newman.
Understand. Woohoo! I know. No, hey, I love I watch Bill Burr gets his podcast out. I wish Dave Chappelle had a podcast. Norm Macdonald puts out some of his stuff. I'm trying to think of my other favorites out there. But a lot of people have some good podcasts out there. And Sarah dies. Lol. I'm just kidding, Sarah.
Yeah.
Sarah was
Is that lol as in LUL? Lol?
Yes, it was. I could say kek from my World of Warcraft days. Yes, because in WoW, when you're
machine gun reference,
when you're on the Alliance side, Horde speak gibberish, and so lol gets translated to kek. And so that became a meme that people say kek because the orcs would say kek.
Is it the other way around as well? They translate each side into gibberish for the other?
It does say gibberish for both. I don't know if it's the same gibberish.
So you don't know what lol gets translated in the other direction.
Yes, exactly. The orcs, the both sides can't speak to each other.
I'm guessing by the fact that it's LOL is the same letter in the front and the back and a different letter in the middle, and it's a consonant vowel consonant, and kek is also consonant vowel consonant. I'm thinking there's probably a 1-to-1 alphabet swap. And it's probably literally a 1-to-1 alphabet swap, that the L gets switched to K in one direction, the K gets switched to L in the other direction, and you probably can transliterate back and forth.
Why don't you go on there and try to break the code?
No, and there probably is an algorithm that's switching it. It's probably not true gibberish, whatever you want to call it.
In fact, there's probably already an app out there somewhere where you can type in what you're reading from them and get a translation, because it sounds like it's most likely that simple. And if there isn't, I think it would be really easy to write one.
This reminds me of
as far as writing any app goes. What's that?
This reminds me of certain IQ test questions. They do all kinds of crazy stuff like this. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you think about it. If you swap consonants for vowels, if you swap consonants for consonants and vowels for vowels, 1-to-1 swap, you wouldn't even have to swap all of them. You could leave some of them exactly what they are, and you'd end up with what would come out as gibberish, but it would be pronounceable gibberish for the most part.
Yeah, yeah.
and you could literally just reverse the swap and get it back. So the one would be easily translatable into the other one and back, and it would be 100% translation. That there's no translation error at all, because it's really not translating; it's transliterating, and the transliteration is again, I'm guessing, and it's an educated guess. Probably an exact transliteration with no loss in the process.
Yeah, if it's a lossless algorithm, then yeah, no problem. Especially if it's symmetric.
Yeah, if you
might have some issues.
If you could find out what some other things translate into, what if you could get a few other like screenshots where what someone's saying or something like that, and find out what they are in either direction, and then take that information and go, okay, this letter turned into this letter and that letter turned into that letter. You could probably make an alphabet transliteration chart.
Yeah.
And just to change the subject,
in fact, you could probably, if you know how to make fonts, you could probably make a font that would do it for you, where you could type and it would show up as that transliteration.
Yeah, that would be a quick way to do it.
Like where an L looks like a K.
Yeah.
And it looks like our next couple of chapters, because I did peek ahead, are going to focus on the lands of Canaanite. So that might be Canaanite lands might be my next title. I think we're getting closer and closer.
Sort of like Canada, but different.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we have human rights here.
Canaanites. That was probably named after the fact that they were, like shooting babies out like cannons.
Well, we'll have to get rid of those rights. They're
Nope, they're not. We're not getting rid of them.
And I've heard of them talk about the Canaanites. Horrible, horrible, horrible things. So
you'll have to take that up with Yahweh.
Yeah. So Abraham buries Sarah in a cave. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Boring. That's so funny.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know. Wasn't there something in there somewhere about the Canaanites slew everyone they were able to, or something like that?
We're probably getting up to that. It's like I said.
The Canaanites made all the maple syrup they possibly could.
But just a funny look at just how much we have read of the Bible. We're not even at Genesis. Not even.
We're not even like 1% of the way through.
Yeah. By the way, what was that red flag earlier? Was that like the one with the circle on it, or the one with the leaf on it? Which red flag was that?
Which one?
You mentioned something about a red flag earlier.
Maybe.
I was wondering that at the time, is that like a red and white flag, with a maple leaf in the middle,
or the homosexual thing,
or was that like a white flag with a big red circle in the middle of it? What kind of red flag were we talking about?
Oh boy.
Yeah. Now I wonder if anybody's going to rewatch the beginning of this thing to try to figure out what I'm referencing.
Sounds like you're talking about.
They are.
Now I'm stopping to think, was it something that was said after we started live streaming or backstage beforehand? Not even sure.
And that's okay.
But there was a red flag. But there was a red flag reference.
Oh, flags. So they're little flagpoles of sanity. Maybe my categories, Mark.
No, it was red flag in the context of indicating something bad might be about to happen or something like that. Like red flag showing up.
I did mention a red flag at one point, saying something about how there's no psychological reflection on the psychological ramifications of Isaac is a big red flag for how horrible this whole thing is. So.
It's a funny thing because I had not noticed at the time when you said that, and at the time I was thinking about the different kinds of red flags it could be. That you've got one behind you.
Yeah, the Canadian.
There are lots of red flags on Yahweh,
and the logo for Canadian atheists right here. So
and that was one of the first red flags I thought of, actually, because I used to live in the Canadian part of Wisconsin.
Okay. And
have you heard of it? Uper
It's
land?
vaguely familiar.
It's the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Oh, okay.
It's a nickname for it because we're
not talking
bordered
about
on
Minnesota.
Wisconsin and Canada. We've got land Upper Michigan. That's where I grew up. We've got land borders on Canada and Wisconsin, and a bridge to Lower Michigan. That's the only connection to Lower Michigan is a bridge. So,
yeah.
Is it a
the
bridge?
government
How far is
fighting
it?
about that one too, aren't they?
What's that?
Is that the bridge the politicians are fighting about, or am I thinking a little more east?
I don't know if they're fighting about that or not.
There's one that's more east and it's not finished, and the politicians are fighting about it. So it must.
Okay. No, the Mackinac Bridge has been around for like ages. But but the government of Michigan is in the Lower Peninsula, and they used to treat the Upper Peninsula of Michigan as if it was this wasteland that nobody lives in, and that the only thing it was good for was strip mining. And if they wanted to strip mine it, they needed to send employees from Lower Michigan to go do the strip mining, because obviously there were no people living in the Upper Peninsula. It's not like you could hire someone who actually lives there. And so I mean, we were basically not represented at all by our government, hence the whole we live in the Canadian part of Wisconsin thing.
Isn't it cold to
That's
be
hilarious.
mining while stripping?
Yes, very much so. It gets like 40 degrees below zero there in the winter.
Hold on, I got it for myself this time. I got you. Okay.
Who came up with the idea of having Michigan be separate into two peninsulas?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't originally, but there was a part of Michigan that was surrounded by Ohio and the Cincinnati Strip, I think it was, and Ohio wanted to own that piece of Michigan, and Michigan was not willing to give it up, and Ohio basically went, we'll go to war over it, and Michigan was pretty much like, okay, have at it. And the federal government stepped in and made a trade on their behalf, and traded a piece of land that wasn't part of either one of them, north of Michigan, for that piece of land that was owned by Michigan but surrounded by Ohio. And that's how Michigan got the Upper Peninsula. And so it became part of a state that was already a state.
We've got a strange situation here. Apparently, Canada and Denmark
and they've been fighting to become their own state ever since. And what's that?
Apparently, Canada and Denmark were still at war over a tiny little rock in the middle of a river somewhere, kind of up north, a little bit east. So,
yeah, wars
has a claim on it as being theirs, and it's right in the middle of Canada somewhere. But nothing going on. It's a useless.
Wars are a funny kind of thing, how they seem to keep creeping up, no matter how much the people wish they'd stop.
Yeah.
Governments keep going, we need another war.
I don't think anyone's taking this seriously, though, but it's just a funny thing that's like the wars never ended on that.
Well, you know why, right?
Yeah. It's like,
you know why that war isn't going away, right?
Why?
The answer is obvious. It's a Cold War.
Oh boy.
I know. Only somebody who's lived there would get it, right?
Yeah. I know, it's cold.
No, seriously though. I mean, you got to know, Upper Michigan does get colder than 40 below in the winter. It's not common, but it does. But you know why I picked 40 degrees below zero as the reference to say how cold it gets?
Why?
Because that's the same temperature on both the Celsius and Fahrenheit scales.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So I don't have to say which scale it is, and it doesn't confuse anyone.
Yeah, no, I understood you perfectly when you said 40. I thought, oh, okay, how nice of him to use metric.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm using both at once, and that's an interesting thing, by the way. If you ever want to confuse someone, if you ask somebody like, what is twice as warm as 20 degrees, they're probably going to say 40 degrees, right? Most people will. Okay. What if you ask them what is twice as warm as negative 40 degrees?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be you got to know which system, or if you really
There are
want to.
people who will say like negative 80 degrees is twice as warm as negative 40 degrees, and you got to go like, really? You're going in the wrong direction. And then there are people who think like negative 20 degrees is going to be twice as warm as negative 40 degrees, and but the answer though. It takes a little more math than that. You have to convert either Fahrenheit to Rankine and back, or convert Celsius to Kelvin and back. You make the conversion, and then you double it, and then you convert it back.
I was just more math. I was just going to say, if you really want to confuse them, do it in kelvins. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. That's
There's
just it. They have to.
In kelvins.
Yeah, same thing with the Rankine scale. The Rankine scale is basically the Kelvin, the Fahrenheit version of the Kelvin scale.
Yeah.
Where Kelvin is based on centigrade or Celsius, Rankine is based on Fahrenheit, and they're both just their respective scale shifted to the point where absolute zero is at zero. Instead of absolute zero being a negative number.
Yeah.
And that way you can do the math on it, because, twice as hot is twice as much heat. Although twice the temperature, technically twice the temperature isn't twice as much heat.
Absolute zero being the complete absence of all heat.
Yeah. The absence, not necessarily the absence of any heat being in the stuff, but the absence of any heat being able to be measured from it.
Yeah.
And
it's interesting because people think that it's possible to get colder than that. Well, they don't understand.
Yeah, I forget which comedian it was that says that, and it said that, but and somebody asked him what the temperature was, and he looked at the scale and saw zero, and he said, "There's not one."
Yeah, that's gonna mess people up too.
And okay, guys, we're almost through. We're gonna bury Sarah in a cave.
Okay.
Fair adventure.
But yeah, if you do look at the difference between like negative 40 degrees and twice as warm as negative 40 degrees, if you actually do the math and look at what those numbers are, that will give you a pretty good idea just how narrow of a range of temperatures humans can actually tolerate, because twice as warm as negative 40 degrees will cook us big time.
We'll cook you tomorrow. Peradventure.
Peradventure. So Abraham buries Sarah in a cave.
And that was relevant to the story, by the way. Just saying.
Absolutely.
And Abraham,
you know how much God loves those burnt offerings.
You can't get enough.
He does love burnt offerings. He loves animal blood.
Yahweh likes burnt offerings so much that he's willing to make burnt offerings for eternity out of people who didn't volunteer for the position.
Yeah, he'll turn you into one.
And claim that they did.
Wow.
For all of eternity, he's going to be telling those people in heaven, oh, well, your relative down there that you wish wasn't suffering for all of eternity, ain't my fault. He sent himself to hell.
You see, if it really is heaven, then we should be able to visit those loved ones who ended up in hell. But that's not an option.
Yeah, well, not only be able to visit them, but be able to give them a tour of heaven once in a while or something. Sure, if you want to punish them, you could still send them back to hell. But do they really have to spend all of eternity there and never get out at all?
I think it was better to go and spend some time in hell. It'd be a lot more fun.
But at least the people are allowed to die. There's no hell yet. At least when they drowned everyone, they stayed dead.
And if the people in heaven get so bored of heaven that they'd rather be in hell for a while, they should be able to make that trip too. I mean, like I said, if God really wants strict behavior and the people that are in hell don't want to behave, I could see putting some limitations on how much time he wants to let them spend in heaven. Maybe tell them, you can stick around as long as you don't break the rules and as long as somebody wants you here. But when nobody wants you here anymore, and or if you break a rule, you're out. That might make some sense. Although it wouldn't have to be a place of eternal torture. It could just be some other place.
But why not the eternal torture? God has a lot of fun with it, so don't spoil his fun now.
Yeah. Well, I don't think torture is the point. I really don't. I don't think torture is the point. I think the point is that God likes the smell of burning flesh. That's why they have to have flesh in hell. Otherwise, why not just have them be, in the lake of fire, in a non-corporeal body that doesn't feel heat?
It wouldn't be as much fun for God.
Okay, well then why not just give them a flesh body with nerve damage so they're in severe pain all the time without being visibly tortured forever. So at least their friends and relatives in heaven wouldn't be able to see how much they're hurting.
No, God wants them to hurt. He'll just make it so their friends don't care about him anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So they're not themselves anymore, which means they have no free will there either. And they didn't actually go to heaven after all. It's some fake copy of them. So all this time they've been saying, all these other religions, they're worshiping fake gods. My God's the only real God. Then they're going to get into heaven, and God's going to be laughing, going, "You're not the real you. You're the fake you."
But at least you'll just sit there and tell me how great I am forever.
Praise and praise.
Praise God.
And praise I am. There's another one. Come on, praise. Come on the channel. We don't bite. At least not hard. Or if you like that. Then
we hardly bite.
Exactly.
But we don't bite hardly.
And Abraham stood up before his dead, and spat unto, that's what it said, and spat unto, sometimes it's me, sometimes it's the Bible, and spat unto the sons of Hath, saying, I am a stranger and a sojourn. That's a regular word. That's me. With you, give me a possession of a burying place with you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. And the children of Heth answered Abraham, saying unto him, Hear us, my lord. Thou art a mighty prince. Oh, wow, he's prince? Does he say?
Yes, because he doesn't want to see his dead anymore until he's in heaven and they're roasting in hell.
Purple rain.
Yeah, exactly. Purple rain. That was exactly where my mind went. In the choice of our sepulchres, bury the dead. None of us shall withhold from thee his sepulchres, sepulchron, but that thou mayest bury thy dead. Sepulcher. And Abraham
but close enough. Sepulcher, whatever.
What is English? What are words? And Abraham stood up and bowed himself to the people of the land, even to the children of Heth. And he communed with them. Oh, that's nice of him. Saying, If it be your mind that I should bury my dead out of sight, hear me, hear me, hear me. And entreat of me, Ephron, the son of Zophar, that we're getting back into Marvel, that he may give me the cave of Malarazon. I maybe put a little bit more words in there, which he hath, which is in the end of his field. For as much money as it worth, he shall give it to me, baby, for a possession of a burying place amongst you. And Ephron, is that like that boy? He's like the singer, Ephron, dwelt among the children of Heth. And Ephron, Hittith, looks like titty, answered Abraham in the audience of the children of Heth, even of all that went in the gate of this city, saying,
The children of Heifer.
The children of Heifer. Nay, my lord, hear me. The field give I thee, and the cave, the bat cave, that is in therein, I give it thee, in the presence of the sons of my people, give I thee, bury thy dead. This seems like a lot of energy.
This
and
is
a lot
just
of
redundant.
Yeah.
This is like a whole bunch of paragraphs for nothing.
Like, we get it. Like, I was
Yes.
sad when...
He's burying his wife in a cave. Okay.
Do you see what's on my on my camera?
And welcome, Jamie.
Dark Matter 2525's video, The Meaning of Life.
Wow. Hugh Hefner.
Sex?
Yeah, he's a real smart guy.
That's God destroying his creation, by the way. Because he gave them free will, and he wasn't happy with the results.
As Ken Hovind says, he made it so he can wreck it if he wants.
He can
Yeah, that's
wreck
something
it,
that's never added up
baby.
for me. Just because a
Yes.
creator doesn't necessarily have the rights to destroy what they've created, and we see this all the time with employment contracts.
Yeah.
Well, it's an abortion argument, you know. I mean, they made it; they can destroy it.
I was gonna say it, but
I'm
I
actually
didn't want to get political.
Yes. Yes, well, I'm just saying, you know, apparently Kent Hovind is very pro-abortion. Not just pro-abortion like people should, you know, have the right to choose to abort their baby, but, you know, rather that, you know, they should abort their baby because, you know, they made it.
Pro? What he's actually saying?
No.
No.
That was just an extrapolation from you know,
because he says this is God's
from this
world,
idea that, you know,
if he wants.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's an extrapolation from that. If he really believed that, you know, if that was really applicable, that, you know, whoever created something can wreck it if they want, then yeah, that would be like, you know, if somebody you know, made a baby, they have every right to just, you know, not just to have it aborted, but that, you know, just totally annihilate it. Just, you know, do whatever they want to because, you know, they created it. It's a bad argument, was my point.
I will say, when I feel in my politically incorrect mood, I do say, I mean, it is the fastest way to get a baby to heaven, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, see, that's the whole thing. Pro-life people are all about getting a baby to heaven by means of having them shot in a war.
Well, see, I don't want to go too far down, but I agree with you, but I don't want to go politics. Because
I just did.
No. James is a lovely conservative atheist.
I'm conservative on some things.
That's true. You're a hybrid.
I don't consider
Medicare for all.
I don't consider abortion to be a political issue, though. To me, it's a simply a medical procedure. It's a matter of a person having personal sovereignty rights over their own bodily autonomy.
Yeah, and there is a legal issue there in the sense that you know, that the person having the abortion done is legally recognized as a human being, whereas the fetus hasn't been yet.
They're not a person, you know, under the law. That's right.
Well,
so,
yeah,
under the law,
under the law, they're not a person yet.
Terms however you want to define them. It's just,
you know, the same as, you know, a pet dog or a pet cat is as much a person as a human being, but they're not legally recognized as a person.
I wish they were, but that's another thing. I'm not even a vegan. I just am all animal rightsy, but that's a whole nother story.
They're legally recognized. They're legally recognized as property. You know, in the, you know, the same sense that women, children, and slaves have been legally recognized as property throughout history.
They're not property. We're stewards. Looking after them. They're not our property. But
in modern law, Modern law, yeah, it's we've come a long way since the days when they were strictly property. But I'm saying historically, yeah, they were strictly property.
Yeah.
And didn't matter. Really made no difference whether it was cattle or a house pet or a wife or a daughter or a baby or a nearly adult child. Or a child who was technically an adult but hadn't been legally recognized as one yet.
Yeah.
And okay, we're to go back on topic. They actually make mentions of abortion-like things in the Bible. So we're gonna get up to some fun.
The Book of Numbers.
You mean like where God says where Yahweh's going to be ripping the babies out of their mothers?
That too. Well, it's
is that an abortion-like thing?
That's one of them. It's the potion, and then that passage are where my brain go. Yes, both of those passages.
Well, that potion one is definitely an abortion. It's just an abortion that's done medicinally rather than surgically.
Yes, and it's only for the guy. Not that I like guys, so I want guys to have rights too. But it's just funny that the potion is very, very specific for a cheating woman. But yes, what number were we on? You guys remember? It was so redundant.
Yeah. As opposed to if the man cheated, then you're not sure who the mother's going to be.
I think we're on 10, but it's all 10? The same stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, dwelt in Hadith and Ephron and Hetit, lots of tits. We read that. Audience of the children. They went to the game.
When the guy's going. When the guy's going, well, I've heard I've got at least 3 kids out there I haven't met yet, but I'm not sure who the mothers are.
Ooh. And actually, you don't have to, Jamie. I'm just sending this out to anyone. But because you're a theist, might as well offer you the perspective. But I know it'd be a lion's den, so don't. Also, you can kind of just hang out in chat if anyone wants to send, and then Discord. We have a Discord. And you can also follow me now at Amy Newman Tweets, and I'm very tempted to make a Skeptic and Ranting Facebook, but Atheist social media, woohoo! And okay, so we were
one peradventure after the other.
One peradventure after the other. Yes. Nay, my Lord, hear me. The field give I thee, and the cave that is therein, I give it thee. Okay, this is redundantly redundant. What the hell? In the presence, I know, Jamie, at this point we're just being English critiques, sir. But in the presence of the sons of my people, I give
Middle English critiques.
Yes, just mild, just being mild. I mean, I'm a little slow myself, so I'm not.
It's a lot of words,
fully
but you're not actually saying much.
Yes. And Abraham bowed down himself before the people of the land.
Oh, and that's back to he fell on his face. There you go.
He's going back onto his face. On to Zac Efron. It is that boy that I was thinking of, that singer. In the audience.
They gotta stop leaving their heads laying around so they don't trip on their faces so much,
Yes. Also, the only character who ever laughed at God is dead. So rest in peace, Sarah. Okay.
Or as Ken Hogan would say, roast in phosphorus.
Yeah, roast. Tasty. But if thou give it.
Roast in peas.
Roast in peas. I pray thee, hear me. I will give thee money for the field. Oh, look at that. He found money. Take it of me, and I will bury my dead there. Okay.
Come on. Bury her. Get it over with. Come on.
Get it over, F. And Zac Efron answered Abraham, saying unto him, My Lord, hearken unto me. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that peanut butter twixt me and thee? Bury for thee thy dead. And Abram hearkened unto Zac Efron, and Abraham weighed to Ephron the silver, which he had named in the audience, high audience of
And
the
he said, "You're only
sons.
getting 250 shekels, bitch.
Oh my God, yeah, he should heckle.
400 is
Uh-huh.
crazy."
400
Yeah, heckle.
shekels.
Yeah,
I
heckle for
know.
a shekel.
First of all, I know I would never pay 400 shekels for that. My goddess, come on.
That's
Or
that's got to be like their first lesson. You know, heckle for a shekel.
a heckle for a shekel.
You don't just
like
pay
that.
what they're asking.
Exactly.
You got to
And-
deal a little bit.
And if God can make money, why are people tithing? Details.
Yeah.
Send your
And
money
the-
to Crypto Dollar.
Yeah.
Well, you know how Jesus felt about that, right?
How did
You know,
Jesus
he-
feel about that?
He kicked all the money changers out of the church because you know, they were getting God's share.
There you go.
Which couldn't have happened because there was a garrison of troops there to prevent that from happening anyway, but it's a good story.
I just want to
Yeah.
see Jesus with a whip. Kinky,
Yeah, well.
kinky.
Well, you know, a garrison of troops couldn't stop, you know, the almighty, all-powerful God in the flesh.
Well, what if they
Except
had
when
iron chariots?
Except when they killed him.
They had iron chariots on standby, so Jesus kept his ass in line.
Yeah. Well, maybe they couldn't handle iron chariots either. So Jesus came in an iron chariot and whipped their asses from inside the iron chariot.
No, that would be like
wouldn't work.
Superman. Superman using kryptonite.
Yeah, Superman. Yeah, Superman buys a kryptonite lined vehicle to protect himself from kryptonite. Yeah, that's it.
Oh well.
Don't show Yahweh that picture of that iron chariot; he'll get triggered.
Yeah. Superman's like, Lex Luthor, I'm ahead of you now. You're not going to get me with that kryptonite because I'm in a kryptonite spacesuit.
Kryptonite spacesuit. Woohoo! And okay, so we got hearkened, we got betwixt. Zac Efron was doing a lot of shekeling. Current money with the merchant.
He
Okay, we
overpaid
got
for a field.
So here we go. And the field of Zac Efron, which was the what is that band? That Mac band? It's a rap band. They're new. Macklemore. And the field of Zac Efron, which was in Macklemore, which was before maiming in the field, and the cave, which was therein, and all the trees that were
before
in
maiming.
the field. Yeah, I almost said Mamre. Maybe I should say Mamre.
Before maiming, you know, maiming had to be coming next somewhere, right?
Okay, maiming works.
There had
There's
to be
a lot
some
of
maiming in there.
And all the
Unto Abraham Lincoln.
And on to Abraham Lincoln, 7 years ago. And all the trees were in the field that were in the borders roundabouts. They had roundabouts even back then, were made sure. Onto Abraham Lincoln for a possession in the presence of the children of Heath before all that went in at the gate of his city. And after this, Abraham buried Sarah, his wife, in the cave. Wow, my mind went numb. It took that long to get this ho-ho in the cave. No offense, Sarah, but holy moly.
I think that was more than we heard about her life. The process of burying her was way longer.
Longer than
it probably took longer than her life.
I mean, whoever wrote this, they could write like a 20-page dossier on boiling a pot of water.
Yeah, they probably did. It's like, what was your first book? Well,
5 pages on how to take your trash out or how to take a shower.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, you know, if they had God write their book on stone tablets.
He just wrote a few phrases on it, talking points. There you go.
How to boil water. Step 1. Burn
Put the
hydrogen.
human inside it first.
No. Step 1. Burn hydrogen. Oh, wait, no, scratch that. Step 2. Burn hydrogen. Step 1, make hydrogen.
Yeah, let there be
You want to
hydrogen.
make a pie from scratch?
Oh wait,
you first
oh
need to
wait,
invent
scratch
the-
that. Step 1, make hydrogen. Step 2, make oxygen. Step 3, burn hydrogen in oxygen.
I like what Carl Sagan said about if you want to make a pie from scratch, you need to first
Yeah.
invent the universe.
Yeah. Exactly. That, by the way, I linked to a video the other day in which that quote is in there in one of Dark Matter 2525's videos. What in the world is the title of that one? I can't think of what the title is off the top of my head, but that's the one where Yahweh is graduates from God's school and is declared the God of pastry, and then they look at his paperwork and they see that he scratched out the word pastry and put everything.
Oh, that's good. Oh, Carl Sagan was probably one of the smartest people in world history, I think.
But you can see where that's going, though, right? God of pastry, God of everything. If you want, Carl Sagan, if you want to make a pie from scratch, you first must invent the universe.
Really?
I have a fantastic secular candle of Carl Sagan that I want to show off. I can't tonight, but I will. I also got a little flying spaghetti monster doll.
Oh yeah.
I wonder
You have a
how
shirt
many
for that, don't you?
I wonder how many theists bought that
so.
just so they could burn an atheist.
Burn Carl Sagan, yeah.
Oh,
What is Kent Hovind calls him Carl Pagan?
Yeah,
Really?
see that's the
I
kind
love
of
them.
low blow stuff that I'm not
That
really a
is
fan of.
silly ad hominems.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like the way Aaron Ra handled that because Kent went out of his way to call Aaron by names that he never had and claimed that those were his original name, and pronounce his name wrong on purpose and all kinds of stuff. So Aaron just said, okay, in that case, I'm just going to call you by your inmate number from now on, and. And misspell Kent with a U instead of an E.
Yeah, Kent was like L. Nelson. What is that, Larry? Are you Larry? I'm just gonna call you Larry.
So, yeah, I thought that was quite appropriate. It's like you're gonna do that. You wanna play childhood playground games with me. Okay, I can play those games too.
But not only did he put the U in there, his last name was the cult leader David Koresh.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that?
Koresh, yeah.
Kunt
Yeah.
Koresh.
Yeah. Yes, I do recall. That. Yeah, it should be fun. It should be fun Wednesday having Aaron on to review that.
That would be a blast.
It's good timing. I'm setting up the StreamYard right now, and so it's going to be called Debate: Is Evolution Ubiquitous? Kent Hovind versus Donald Kronos, with commentary by I'll just put with commentary, but I was going to say with maybe Donald,
Yeah.
Amy, and Aaron Ra. And James, if he comes, James W.
I was
I'll be
looking
there for
for
at
it.
least a little bit of it.
If you haven't already, if you haven't already finalized that, I was looking for it earlier and I couldn't find it. Someone had sent me something. I think it was in Twitter. It might have been in Facebook. I'm not really sure, but somebody. Oh, it was what's his name? Robert Batty, I think. Beatty. Sorry. Yeah. And any rate, Baty. I think it's Robert. Any rate, I think that was who sent it to me. I'm not really sure, but I was, like I said, I was trying to find it and I couldn't find it. But somebody had sent me something. Yeah, it was his. He had put on his webpage. I sent you a picture of it, I think, a screenshot from my phone, where he advertised the thing on his own site, and I think he put it as an analysis, a debate analysis. So I think I like that wording. So I'd kind of like to suggest that, instead of just debate, since that sounds like we're having another debate, put it as debate analysis. Does that make sense?
I think she was going to put commentary.
It'll say debate with live commentary, but I could put debate analysis or whatever. I have little categories on the contents, but if you want, once we take this offline, we can talk about the name.
Yeah, you do it how you want, but I just figured, that it seemed like a nice wording for it, because I was trying to think of a good wording to suggest to you, and I didn't really come up with a good one, and then I saw that and I thought, well, that's a good wording for it, debate analysis. I was thinking, debate breakdown or debate review, but debate analysis. It's a little bit long, but I think it sums it up pretty well.
Well, I'll give you an example. I'll send this into the chat, and you can tell me what you think.
So I was just thinking, if you just added the word analysis after the word debate in what you just said, it would be a little bit longer, but I think slightly more informative if it's worth doing that.
Okay.
Which chat am I supposed to be looking in?
So
some people, a lot of they use the term mirror, like they'll be like debate mirror.
And so it says debate Christopher Hitchens versus Dinesh D'Souza with live commentary. And so it would say that with our names, but I could change that.
I see what you mean. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. That's that format is fine. I just wanted to mention that for something for you to consider. That's all. And,
okay, well, I like the word.
That format's fine.
Where is it? I didn't see it.
It's in just regular chat.
In the room. Oh,
yes.
If you wanted to expand it to with live commentary and analysis, maybe or something like that. But I wouldn't worry too much about it. Like I said, that format is fine.
And we'll talk about this after. I think for this one, we'll do debate analysis, and we'll call it your name, because you seem more comfortable with that word, and I like the word analysis, so we'll use it.
Jamie Russell in chat says, "Did the exodus occur?" That's an easy no.
Yeah, and throw on there featuring Aaron Ra somewhere, because
sure,
people got to know he's going to be in there.
Absolutely. I'm excited. It's almost a surreal experience. The problem with having atheists to look up to, I'll tell you my conundrum. It's the same I get from Matt Dillahunty and George Carlin. Is all the people that I look up to have explicitly said, "Don't look up to me," and so it's always like you have to take a step back and be like, okay.
Yeah, well, I'm sort of, I'm kind of one of those as well. I do my best to try to make sure that people don't see me as like the role model for anything. I'm just a person doing the best I can, and if a person doing the best they can is a role model, that's fine. It doesn't have to be me specifically.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know what? We're all in this together. It's basically a team sport. I was trying to atheists seem very Big Tent. Not always, but I like that we seem very accepting of everything.
At least we are on here.
Yes, well, we are.
Yeah, we don't have much choice in the matter, actually, because because we have no sects.
Exactly.
Notice I'm not spelling that with an X on the end, by the way.
but there's nothing to schism, because we don't have a view of one of God. It's no.
We can disagree with each other on a whole bunch of stuff. We can agree with each other on a whole bunch of stuff, but there's no guarantee of what we will agree or disagree on, except that we, as atheists, agree that that
we don't accept
theism hasn't. That theism hasn't convinced us yet.
And just to change the subject for a second, Jamie, we are absolutely looking for live debates. So if you'd like to be our first live debate, we could just do one-on-one. It could be just James and you, or me and you, or someone here. We could find someone, but we're looking to do more live debates on here.
To debate what?
Exodus,
He likes, did the Exodus occur? We're almost out of the Exodus. And man, I feel like anyone who has been watching our Skeptic Bible Study should have strong views on that at this point.
We're almost through Genesis. Then
history is my worst subject, so that's one I won't volunteer for because to me, whether or not something actually happened in the past,
gotcha.
It's. I mean, sure, we can be pretty sure one way or the other, but not sure enough that I would debate the issue one way or the other on basically anything historic. I don't see those as things that are debate worthy myself.
Well, everybody has their own, specialties and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. And for a historian, I mean, if you get one historian debating another historian on a subject like that, yeah, that could make a very interesting debate because that's what they do. That's what they study, that's their thing. But yeah, for me, that would be like debating what somebody I don't know had for breakfast yesterday.
Like I told John Maddox, everybody can't be an expert on everything. There's just not enough time in the day for everybody to know every subject.
That's the strength of science, is that we can actually rely on the empirical community of others.
Yeah, well, I will take it a step farther than that and say that no one can be an expert on everything and also be real.
Yeah, nobody can be an expert on everything.
Only a fictitious being could ever be an expert on everything, and only in fiction.
And I will go a step further. It's definitely not Yahweh. I'm sorry. The evidence has been laid before us. We're not even out of Exodus, and his mess ups have been over and 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 over. And okay.
Yeah. And that right there, in my opinion, if I was going to debate, the issue, that particular issue, my stance would be that the Exodus as portrayed in the Bible did not occur. And that's how I know it did not occur as portrayed in the Bible, because according to the Bible, there was an impossible being involved.
Exactly. And okay, we're going to do the wrap up. So let's just read the last, were we on, I think on 18?
I believe so, yeah.
On to Abraham for a possession in the presence of the children of Heth, before all that went in the gate of his city. And after this, Abraham buried Sarah, his wife, in the cave. That's right. We finally got her in the cave of the field of Macklemore before the Mamre, or the Mame, the same as Hebron, in the land of Canaan. So this is
Canada.
Kind of like in the land of Canada. This is a preview.
Did I catch that right? They were the children of Heths? Were they reproducing like rabbits?
Exactly. They were the children of Heth.
So, and then Abraham immediately went and comforted himself with his concubine.
Hold on, I want to say this.
I knew there were magic tricks in the Bible, but I didn't know there were any hat tricks.
Well, right now Abraham's got to be kicking himself because he said, Lot's wife got turned into salt. I don't have anything for my wife. I'm just putting her in a cave. At least he got some salt out of the deal.
Yeah, no kidding.
I know.
Yeah, it's like it's like, hey Yahweh, can't you be fair about this? And turn my wife into something more useful than a caged wife.
And so, okay, and the field and the cave that is therein were made sure unto Abraham for a possession of a burying place by the sons of Heth. And there we go.
That was a complete waste of a chapter.
That was a complete waste of a chapter. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, panel. And
could have wrote a more compelling thing about Abraham's trip to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Making sure no babies are coming out.
and nearly everyone lived happily ever after.
Until
know,
the next chapter.
If they had cut it off at Genesis 1, this book, it would have been happy. As soon as you get to Genesis 2, it all goes downhill.
As soon as that damn snake comes in,
That damn snake.
That damn snake. He had to wreck this perfect plan that God came up with.
Yeah, they seem to always be able to mess up his plan, which is so funny. I think Donald went AFK. Oh, Randolph was
No, I'm not off, but I'm going to fall asleep here pretty soon.
Gonna fall asleep. I know.
Yeah,
so
we're wrapping it up, Randolph.
So what
too.
I think it's about to be 5 a.m. here. Woo-hoo.
It is, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's almost 0200 here.
Are you in Saskatchewan?
Yeah, we're on metric time here. 24-hour clock.
So, any final thoughts? What do you think about our almost barbecuing Isaac?
Go ahead, Randolph.
I think it's cruel and sick, and this book is not appropriate for children.
But it's perfectly in keeping with everything else we've heard from Yahweh before. So.
Oh yeah, it's consistent.
Yeah, about messing up God's plan. About messing up Yahweh's plan. By the way, messing up His plan was in His plan. Having his plan messed up.
His plan.
Yeah, having his plan messed up was part of his plan. Because after all, he knew everything would go wrong the way he was going to do it, and he chose to do it in a way that would make everything go wrong. Because otherwise, he would have been wrong that everything was going to go wrong, and he can't be wrong. So he had to.
And so, if that's the case,
he had no free will.
If that's the case, what's he so jealous of?
Other gods that don't exist?
No, us having free will, because he don't.
Because he gets really mad when people worship other gods that aren't real.
He had no choice. He had no choice in the matter. See, we have free will, and he don't. He couldn't give himself free will. And he's jealous of us having free will because we're more powerful than he is. Think about it. You ever see God make a car or a skyscraper or really anything? Have you ever seen God make anything? You read stories of God making stuff, and the stuff that he made is like dirt and empty space,
Well,
how about this?
But those are just his free choices. Think about it. If he's omnipotent, then he should have free will in that kind of scenario. But the problem is, as soon as he exercises it, he invalidates his omniscience. So, for example, he's a bit of a paradox.
Which means he isn't really omnipotent or omniscient. He just wants to tell us he is. It's kind of like the kid. It's kind of like the kid who says, my dad can beat up your dad, and your dad's God and everything else, and he's not really telling the truth, except God. Except God saying it about himself through the people who made him up and wrote him.
Yeah, but let me explain. So, for example, he knows we're going to get rain tomorrow in my city, and along comes tomorrow, and he decides to change it to snow or sunny weather. And by doing that, he's invalidated his omniscience. He's not omniscient then,
right?
Yeah, and that's the paradox. So he can't use his power without sacrificing omniscience.
Yeah, and that also works in a multiverse, by the way. Even if he knows all the different futures, he can't change any of them. So he still has no free will.
Well, how about this, Dak?
Because if he changes any of the universes in the multiverse, again, he validates his omniscience, which means he's not really omnipotent because there was something he couldn't know, and knowing that thing is therefore something he couldn't do.
Yeah, the omniscience is dependent on the omnipotence. That makes sense. That's a good way to look at it.
And vice versa. Yeah, the omnipotence is dependent on the omniscience. Because if he's not omniscient, then there's something he can't do, which is knowing a certain thing.
Oh, it's even worse than that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If I'm on here, Dak, and I say something mean or rude to you, and then I come to you later and I say, I'm sorry about that, I didn't mean that, then you could forgive me for that. But that's not something God could do.
Yeah, God can't do that.
Because he can't forgive people without killing somebody innocent.
Yep.
Say,
And
well,
God
I'd love to
also
forgive
can't.
you, but somebody innocent has to die.
Jesus dying for everyone's sins is vicarious redemption, and that's unethical.
God also can't not be in hell because he's omnipresent.
Yeah.
I guess hell was like the proviso, like I'm everywhere except down there.
No, he's there. He has to be in hell because he's omnipresent. So yeah, God can't not be in hell.
Well,
It's
Jesus
Not being in
died
hell
and
is
went
something
to
God
hell.
can't do.
Let me
In fact,
explain.
God
Ascended
can't even.
down there.
In fact, get this: God can't even not be in hell before there was a hell.
And of course, God, they say, is timeless. What they really mean is he's omnichronological.
Yeah,
He's everywhere at every time. So
Yeah.
And
yeah,
so,
which means he's technically nowhere all the time, and everywhere at no time, and somewhere at no time.
Oh, he's so useless. And why is it a he and why not a she? Wouldn't a she be more appealing?
let me
Because
tell
he's a
you,
dick.
Randolph, that is my favorite question. My favorite troll question to ask theists, especially Christians and Muslims.
I'm glad you
they're
like it.
They're like, well, there can't, there's how many sexes, how many genders? I'm like, okay, let's take that on board. So God is a male. He has male genitals, right? He has male genetics, right? And then it's like, I swear, they put on black rim glasses and become postmodernists so fast. They're like, well, you see, God is actually a man, but he's genderless and all genders. And you're like, okay,
Yes.
calm down.
Yes, he's a genderless man who's an ass and a dick.
Yes. Well,
Even
we've
Ken Hovind
decided,
said that.
he's
'Cause
Sid
even
from
Ken
Toy
Hovind
Story.
said, Ken
And-
Hovind even said he doesn't have to have a gender; he can be anything.
Could be anything, man. Come on, bro. Come on.
Because they were
You
calling
gotta
him
just
a
feel it
heretic.
in your heart.
They called him a heretic because he endorsed this one book, and in the book, God is portrayed as a black woman, and they're like, "Oh, Kent can't read that book. That's blasphemy," because they're calling God a black woman. Even Kent's like, "How do you put a label like that onto God or a race or gender? He's everything."
Yeah, well,
Everything.
the Bible did.
Nothing.
Oh yeah, he's the father. They always refer to him
Yeah,
as the
he's
father.
the father.
Because,
the Bible doesn't call him the mother even once.
Well, because the time that was written, women were not regarded as people, but rather as property. So, of course, there's definitely...
seen that.
Yeah, and God didn't make Eve in God's image. God made Eve in Adam's image. So, he put Adam and Steve in the garden, and we just mistranslated the name.
Eve was basically a blow-up doll made from one of Adam's ribs because he wouldn't have sex with animals.
And so I'm going to ask
Yeah,
this, and I'm going to bring us back on.
He wouldn't have sex with the other animals. He had to have an animal that was, more like his kind of animal, but not quite because.
And so Jamie,
because he was a dust golem, and Eve was a rib clone.
Jamie Russell just nailed it. That's no pun intended.
But think about it though. Adam's rib would have had DNA with an X chromosome and a Y chromosome and all the genes for male parts, male anatomy, and that's what God made Eve out of, according to the Bible. So it was Adam and Steve.
Well, obviously God had to alter the DNA.
Well, then why make it out of his rib at all?
It was just a show.
Why not just make another dust golem?
Apparently, when you pile up dust, you get a man.
I mean, was there a problem with there wasn't enough dust around? Was the earth not dusty enough yet?
Oh boy.
And so the question I want to ask you, Jamie, is then, so you're saying he's a guy, but that also means that for 4,000 years, was he genderless? Because I think you think it's 6,000 to 10,000. So doesn't that mean at least he's got to be genderless for a little while?
Well, no, there was plenty of dust, so the snakes had lots to eat.
Can I click remove?
Oh no, the Bible doesn't mention anything about God ever being genderless.
There was plenty of dust because the snakes had a lot to eat.
Always referred to.
It starts out with him being male from before the beginning of the universe. God created the heavens and the earth, and he's already being used as a male there.
He is the God, not the deity. Yep. And of course, what race was God? What race was Jesus?
Well, the God race, of course. The
Oh,
one
but he's always
the
white.
Jews were modeled after, because of course Adam was a Jew. And then God had
Adam
to
was
pick a
Jewish?
specific. Yeah, he had to be because all of his chosen people were descended from Adam. It's all
Oh,
ancestor
okay.
worship. So so Adam had to be Jewish, and Jesus had
Also,
to be
my
Jewish.
roommate wants
Jesus
to say
couldn't not
hi.
be Jewish
Is that Haley?
because
Yep, Haley's in the chat. So
because
now
Hi,
we have another
Haley.
thing.
because
Hi, Haley.
even though Jesus supposedly made people other than God's chosen people acceptable, he couldn't have been one of those people who wasn't chosen by God, because if
He
he
had to be a
was,
descendant.
then he wouldn't be in a position to make those other people acceptable to God.
Yeah.
Yep. And so I'm
Peradventure.
going to bring it back on topic so we can wrap up. So I'll ask both James and Donald, barbecuing Isaac. We almost had a murder that wasn't. We had the football pulled away. What are
Attempted
your
murder.
guys' final thoughts? Yeah, attempted murder.
Go ahead.
That was Yahweh's excuse for killing his own kid. He's like, well, somebody's kid had to die, and that guy got out of it. So, I'll just have to be born as my own son, and talk to myself in front of people, and not know everything that I know, and not be able to experience life as a human being, because I'm going to know that I'm going to live forever, and that I'll have a 3-day vacation from life before coming back to it, and then going back to paradise in heaven. So so that makes it that makes the sin of their original ancestor, forgivable. Just God's just saying, well, as a God, I'll just have to commit suicide and live through it.
I wonder if he got
Amen.
sunburned when he was up on that cross.
Amen.
And okay,
I wonder-
I agree with everything Donald said, but James,
I wonder if he got
Final
sunburned while he was creating the sun.
Is 3 days enough time to recover from sunburn?
I guess if you're a god.
well, would you need to
Well,
rest on a
resurrection
6th
time.
day if you're a god?
That-
Who knows?
that
You
might be
wouldn't
the-
need to.
That might be why they put his corpse in a dark cave, so he's got time to recover from the sunburn before he comes back as a zombie.
Yeah, zombie Jesus.
Well,
Yeah.
this
Well,
passage we read today.
You do
was,
know there was
boring.
supposed to be a bunch of other zombies walking around as well, right? So I mean, Jesus wasn't
I
the
didn't
only
know that.
zombie. Yeah. The city was full of zombies, according to at least one book of the Bible, and somehow no historian ever recorded that. You'd think that would have been something. There were a lot of historians, so you'd think one of them would have went, "Hey, I got to be the one to write about this whole
You got a noise complaint.
zombie thing."
Yeah, I wanna ask you guys. Do you
Is that
guys
me?
think I'm being too loud? No, I wanna make my roommate feel ironic. Do you guys think I've been too loud tonight?
Nope.
Doesn't sound like
Uh,
you're
I told you earlier your volume was
Not as
10%
far as I can
lower than
tell.
the rest of us.
All right, that's what I thought. Thank you, guys. I know. I just wanted to have fun.
Well, so the passage we read today was
No, they're being serious. They're
a lot of bluster,
They're being serious.
but very little substance. So we almost had murder, but in, 2 studies ago we had the flood. 1 study ago we had Sodom and Gomorrah. Nobody died in this one except Sarah.
Yeah. Don't worry. They'll have that murder in the sequel.
I imagine we'll get to some more killing soon enough, though.
Oh yeah, the Bible is full of that.
There's over 2 million killings by God and only 10 by the devil?
That's why they call it Bible. It's like a meat market.
Bible. Okay.
Bible. And okay, guys, so we'll do a final check out.
And I don't buy
both-
that bull.
Both the lovely gentlemen down below have their own channels. Go check out Randolph Richardson. He is an awesome debater. Go watch his debates on Modern Day Debate. Go watch his debates on Tart. And then moving on to Donald. He is awesome. Another awesome debater who just did a debate with Kent Hovind on Modern Day Debate. And we're going to do a review or an analysis of that debate this Wednesday with the Aaron Ra.
So if you want to see Ken Hovind fall on his face plant again, come on, watch it.
Yeah, it should be interesting because Aaron Ra and I have very, very different views of some things, and and yet we share a lot in common in the things, certain things that interest us. So that's why I say, his approach to debating Kent Hovind. I mean, he did very well debating Kent Hovind, but it was something I did point out to him that and to a lot of other people that I thought that rather than sticking to biological evolution only in addressing Kent Hovind, one should broaden it out. And he thought that was a bad idea. Everybody thought that was a bad idea, and well, it worked. So, I mean,
I've got to say I've thought about that too, and I kind of like your take on that. That you all his straw men.
Yeah, and I mean, I have a lot of respect for Aaron Ra, but we've all got things that that we're better at, and things we're worse at, things we're right about, things we're wrong about, and I'm not saying that he was wrong in any sense about his method for approaching something, because I mean he's very good at taxonomy and evolutionary history, and so he's stuck within that, and I'm not anywhere near as good in those specific areas. I'm pretty decent with them, I think, but not at Aaron Ra's level. But I came prepared to address evolution, not just biological evolution, and Kent Hovind was not ready for that. That's why he brings up cosmic evolution and misdefines it, and stellar evolution and misdefines it, and misdefines planetary evolution, misdefines chemical evolution, misdefines every kind of evolution there is, and then admits that there is such a thing that microevolution happens, but even misdefines that.
Yeah, he strawmans almost every field of science, and Aaron Ra is expertise on the biology, but
the only evolution he comes close to getting right is macroevolution, and that's when he says that macroevolution is basically a lot of evolution or big evolution, but usually he doesn't put it that way. He tries to make macroevolution out to be specifically like one created kind turning into another created kind, like a dandelion morphing into an ape.
And then
that's the absurdity
instantly, and it doesn't make any sense. And
he recognizes that
there's a lot of people doing this.
He recognizes that it's supposed to take time, but then he makes that out to be an absurdity too. Like he thinks it's a decent argument to say something like they believe a dandelion can live for the billions of years it takes to turn into an ape.
Well, the thing is, microevolution is so obvious; it's all over the place. You can't deny it. It would be stupid to try. So, but it's harder to see on the long term. So that's his way of getting around it.
But that's okay. You can.
And it's so funny that in his opening statement, he said microevolution is ubiquitous. He lost the debate right there, and I hadn't even started my opening statement.
One question: did he like your shirt?
I think so. Yeah,
I've got a similar shirt.
Yeah, the shirt I was wearing, it wasn't this one, but the shirt that I was wearing in the debate, I actually bought for the debate.
And Randolph, you have a request. There's asking when you're going to go live with Neil.
Yeah, he's talking about the program called True North Talk that Neil and I are going to be co-hosting together, and that is a branch from the Canadian Atheists. It's a Canadian Atheists project. So we're literally physically building the studio, and
You're going to be
Cool.
so we're just very close to putting up the west wall. I know it sounds Game of Thrones like, but then we have to get the other walls built. But once that wall's up, then we'll be able to proceed much faster with the rest of the walls. It's just that one's a big one. It's a hard one to put up, so it's been a bit of we've had a few delays, but it looks like we're getting back on track with that, and hopefully within a couple of months, if everything goes really well, then we'll have the program up and running, and I've got a whole
on
free
YouTube?
stuff sorted out and all this kind of stuff. So.
will be on YouTube or
Yes, it'll be live on YouTube and
on your channel or another channel or yours.
It'll be on a separate channel, and if you go to the website www.truenorthtalk.ca, there's
What
a
was that
link to
again?
the YouTube channel from there.
What
So
channel?
is that
I
that west
missed it.
wall you're talking about? That west wall you're talking about, is that the near west wall or the far west wall?
The only west wall. It's
Well, no, it doesn't work that way. They're both
west.
west walls. It's just a matter of how far west you have to go to get to it.
There you go.
So, but yeah, so you go to the website www.truenorthtalk.ca.
True North Talk.
There is a
okay.
link there. Yeah, there is a link there to the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/truenorthtalk. So it's just so feel free to subscribe. You can see a little bit of the construction work that's been done so far, and we're hoping to have some more.
Absolutely. Couldn't keep me off of it.
That's the thing
I'm
about
sure it'll be great.
That's the thing about east and west. In an average building, the eastern wall is farther west than the western wall. Much farther west.
Yep.
And all right, guys, I think we could probably talk forever, but I'm going to wrap it up here. 'cause
Absolutely.
We have
This
been
requires
done
spherical Earth.
barbecuing Isaac. I
Yeah.
want to thank James,
Or
Donald,
cylindrical Earth.
Randolph. I want to thank Oz,
Thanks,
Doorknob, Titan,
Thank you,
Robert, Ant,
Randolph. Thank you,
Ian,
Jack.
Yeah, thank
Everybody in the chat.
You're welcome.
Jamie, Hunt,
Love having you
thanks,
guys.
everybody.
Ian, and Mark. Thank you guys so much. We got another one. And I
We'll
hope
be
you
back
have
probably at some time tomorrow.
Yes, we'll
Yeah,
be back
anybody-
tomorrow with I think a view on genealogy. I think we're coming close to.
Anybody who's a regular here, anybody who's stuck around for the whole show or something, thank you for having the stamina and hanging in there with us. And if you want to be a little more how would you put it, a little more energetic about it, throw a little more energy in there, I recommend you send a link to the channel out there on Twitter or Facebook or whatever you can, and just share some thoughts about the channel, what you think of it, and give people a reason to come have a look. And maybe next time you can be part of a bigger audience, and give us a little more incentive to do this stuff, right, Amy?
Absolutely.
Like and subscribe.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's
Oh
been
yeah, I
a
got to click that
great
like button. I haven't done
adventure.
that yet. There we go.
And with that, I want to thank James, Donald, and Randolph. Have a and Oz for being on. Thank you all very much. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Good night.